tunnel on the rain. There's a way that's not in vain. Truth is sinking down the drain. Purple hat and purple cane. Doing magic, David Blaine. Change your face, change your name. Through the sadness and the pain. Hit the gas, accelerate. Kept the journalist to sign an NDA about the process. Loss and gain, and I have gained a lot of losses. Like a hill covered in crosses. Help me here, figure the boxers. Look on stone, it don't cost us. Hashtag I shouts out the sponsors. Brand new face, shout out my doctor. Famous turn us into monsters. I went broke from doing concerts. Out of 10, what is the chances? Can I still wear my balance? SG standing on the Lancey. 31, nothing is fancy. Leave you stranded out and cancelled. Have you asking for a Advil? Have you signed up for a bad deal? At McDonald's, get the sad meal. Can't you see our faces shallow? Silly shoes, it's not New Balance. DNGs don't get saddened. Out of you all, I'm the baddest. I'm addicted to my status. Let me tell you what the deal is. Honestly, I have no feelings. Life don't hit, so this to remix. Everyone know I'm the real. Every day is just another Monday morning. Every day's the same. Wake up with my blinds down, golden light on day, slipping away. I wake up wanting to go back to sleep again because the rain. Heavy rain falling forever on the everlasting flame. Heavy two-headed axe in a dirty duffel bag. Heavy hammers in the right hands, cut their castles in the sand. In the rain while money system seeing how to scan the scam. On the stage going crazy with the news going crazy. I can lose, only win. Eyes aren't used to doing bad. Who's that talking like they know me? But somebody let you know. All the shit that I have been through, man, all I can say is that. Course I'm running through the city, I do it because I can. Used to be so dirty, drug gang, I did it to collab. Used to wanna be so up, but now you talk to the hand. Used to wanna be so up, but now you talk to the hand.
Hello and welcome back. Jar Juice emergency early broadcast, okay? This is insane. We're watching Ethan go fucking nuclear on Hasan right now live. This is gonna be crazy. Let me just hop in my Discord. Anyone who wants to join live is welcome to, and we will watch this together and discuss, okay? So, here we go. Let's get right into it. Wait, where's my camera? Oh, I need the overlay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Very nice. What's up, guys? All right, let's see. When does this start? I was going to go live in like 45 minutes, but this started happening, and this is crazy. Should I update the title? I feel like I should. Let's do that while we're watching.
Frank Sinatra, I think that is.
Teddy Fresh, don't care, don't
Goal
care,
with
don't
this.
care.
This is not something you're interested in. Obviously, I understand. I would suggest you refer to timestamps or catch our Friday show if you don't want to watch this. Totally understand. Before I begin, I would like to address a couple of points that I know will be brought up. One that I hear a lot: why don't you talk to Hasan about this privately? I did text him a couple weeks ago after I saw the.
So obviously, like, I feel like everyone on this channel already knows all of the context about what happened between H3 and Hasan, but when the Israel-Palestine conflict like really started kicking off after October 7th last year, the tensions between Ethan Klein and Hasan were growing because he realized that Hasan was very, very, very pro-Palestine. Ethan himself, keep in mind, is very pro-Palestine as well, but it wasn't good enough for Hasan. Ethan was, saying that October 7th was a tragedy, was bad, shouldn't have happened, and it's a horrible, disgusting act. And for some reason, this bothered Hasan so much, who could not give him an inch of concessions on this point. And this just split them in half. It just divided them. And at the time, H3 and Hasan had a huge show together. They had a show called Leftovers, which they had been doing for a couple years at this point, which Ethan realized, because of this specific topic, he realized how Hasan had effectively radicalized his entire audience. So over the past, it's almost been a full year since they've stopped working together. And over the past year, you can just notice Ethan posting more and more anti-Hasan stuff, talking about the problems with Hasan's community. And it's come to the point where he's gone full-blown, fuck Hasan. Hasan is a piece of shit and his community is terrible and toxic. And Ethan will argue here that Hasan is spreading anti-Semitism as well, which I don't know if I'm comfortable saying that myself. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure that there are a lot of people in Hasan's community that are very anti-Semitic, but I don't know if that is because of Hasan. But let's just see what Ethan has to say here. Let's check it out.
Clip of him saying that he had no problem with Hezbollah. I texted him that I thought it was pretty disappointing and disturbing the way that he was.
Wait, he said that he had no problem with
and
Hezbollah. Okay,
disturbing.
okay. Hezbollah is like a terrorist group, right? I am not a an expert on Israel Palestine stuff by any means, so I'm going to look everything up if I'm not sure about it. Forgive me if I sound really stupid. I am when it comes to Israel Palestine. I don't know shit about this conflict. Okay.
Being the way that he was. I'm on no sleep. Sorry. What's the word? He was hyping up Hezbollah, and granted, when I texted
So
him that,
Hezbollah is a radicalist, Lebanese Shia Islamist political party and paramilitary group. So that sounds like, yeah, terrorism to me. Islamic resistance in Lebanon. Yeah, is this the thing that he was showing the Nick guy on his stream? Oh, look at this awesome music video, guys. Look at this awesome music video.
I said, you
Wait,
don't
does he
to
have two Bo Blacks plushies?
respond to me. I totally understand because it's unsolicited, criticism. I get it. But I was kind of hoping to open the door to a more personal conversation. He did not reply, which I took as basically just like we're on the opposite sides of this issue and talking isn't going to really help, which I get. And I agree. That's probably where we're at, unfortunately. But I did try.
Is not replying like a pussy move though? Like Hasan is like, yeah, I stand on my principles. I'm really sure about this. I guess he could just think that he's not going to convince Ethan of anything, and so it's worthless to engage with him. Okay, well, I guess we can be charitable to him in this regard. I think Hezbollah has some humanitarian aspects, but mostly the other stuff. Okay, interesting.
And again, not to blame him because I said you don't have to respond, just so you know.
Does every terrorist or like radical Islamist like paramilitary thing, don't they all like try to do humanitarian stuff for their own citizens to like garner support? Am I wrong about that?
I felt I needed to tell you this, so like, it's not like that's what happened. Okay. And in fact, we haven't spoken in a few months. We've spoken very little since the show ended. Obviously, this is what I don't like. I've been taking these stupid little pot shots at him and Instagram stories and stuff.
Based.
Something happened over the past few days that really fucking set me off and made me get kind of just like determined to finally just do this once and for all. So obviously things have gotten more strained between us as time has gone by. And after some
Yeah, like humanitarian aspects just means like, doesn't that just mean that they're like looking out for their own citizens? Right? Which is like, of course, that's like ultimately the goal of every political movement, no matter how radicalized or whatever they are. They think that they're doing what's best for their citizens.
which I'll get into. I find it impossible not to say anything. I don't want people don't need to speculate about our relationship, about our opinions about each other. I just want to address it now openly, bluntly. As a person, as a friend, I respect Hasan. I don't think you need to choose between us. It's not like that. In fact, it's not personal at all.
Why do you respect Hasan as a person? How could you say that after how he's treated you?
I am seeing a concerning rise in anti-Semitism and a normalization of it in a way that I don't think Hasan is anti-Semitic, but I do think that stuff he does contributes to it. Well, and I know that's a big claim. However, I hope that you will watch this through. I believe it's well supported, and I feel that it will be persuasive if you listen to what I'm saying. So please, at least give me the due. Give me your ears for a moment to hear me out, and feel free to disagree with me all you want. But
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, so this is what I was kind of getting at. Ethan said, yeah, so I don't personally think that Hasan himself is anti-Semitic, but I do think that he's spreading it. So I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't know. So we're going to watch Ethan's take on this and have him explain why he thinks that is going on, and we'll see whether or not we agree with him. For sure, the one thing I agree with him about is that Hasan sucks ass, and we all hate him here. Fuck Hasan. He sucks,
Yeah, but
and he's gay.
again, like,
Boom.
it's not. I mean, Hassan
Owned.
can do better. He can conduct himself better, in my opinion. Um, it's possible that we could be friends again down the line. Or not that we stop being friends, but we could be friendly again or more on talking terms. I don't know, down the line. But at the moment, he is
Hassan used to be a professional horse fucker, and that's why Vosh is jelly. Yeah, that's true, actually.
like the lead. He's kind of like the most prominent voice on this issue. So it's not personal. It's literally just addressing where this is all coming from. Um, Another comment that I read all the time that I want to address up front, and was kind of the heart of all the problems that I'm having here, is that I hear all the time. In fact, this was the top comment on a thread on our subreddit, is that with all the terrible things happening in Gaza, I can't bring myself to care about anti-Semitism.
Wait,
Um,
wait, wait. Hold on. I gotta back up.
a thread on our subreddit is that,
On their subreddit, on the H3
in
subreddit.
fact, this was the top comment on a thread on our subreddit, is that with all the terrible things happening in Gaza, I can't bring myself to care about anti-Semitism. Um, which I understand the sentiment, right? There are terrible things happening in Gaza. However, these are the people who are nonstop trying to convince everybody that Zionism is not Judaism and convince themselves that we don't hate Jews, we just hate Zionists. So when I complain about anti Semitism, why is it that it always goes back to Israel? It seems that they're the ones that are confused about Zionism and Judaism. Because again, if I'm complaining about anti Semitism, what does that have to do with Gaza, or what does that have to do with Gaza? You know what I mean? Apparently, according to them,
Isn't that all those people that are making these like claims though, right? When did he ever cry anti-Semitism during the start of like the October 7th thing? Like he did not do that, did he? It was other people that brought like
they're not
the Jewish part into it. That's what's weird.
related. Um, this is a confusion that is at the root of the problem I'm having of contributing and rising anti-Semitism that I'm seeing, is this usage of the word Zionism, which is basically become a catch-all. It doesn't mean much. And it has a whole
That's very
spectrum of
true.
meaning. As I'll show, it can mean, like, if you look at a leftist Israeli, you ask them what Zionism is, they'll tell you, a lot of people tell you it's Western expansion, like settler expansionism, right? And they say,
Yeah,
oh,
he does look really good. I'm proud of him for losing the weight.
I'm anti-Zionist. I'm against that.
Dude, he's gotten his shit together. This past year has been great for him.
Where the idea of, like, uh, taking Israel off the map, they would be like, that's insane. Like, obviously, no. So, are they a Zionist? Or is it a Houthi pirate?
You gotta love the ninja Fortnite dance in the background. That's awesome. So yeah, I think what he's getting at here is like, and we'll let him expand on this, but a lot of people will basically claim that Zionism is any time that you believe that Israel has the right to exist at all. So like, even if you're like, okay, Palestine, even if you're like super pro Palestine to the point where you're like, Palestine should actually expand and take over 3/4 of Israel, but Israel should have a little bit of land. Like these people would call you a fucking Zionist.
That Hassan's been hyping up, um, and a Houthi flag that says "Curse upon the Jews" and "Death to Israel." Um, is that
I definitely disliked him for a while. Like from the time that like H3 podcast took off, like probably 2018 to like 2022, he was just so annoying. That was the biggest problem to me, is that Ethan was super annoying and virtue signally, and I don't know, just just insufferable. But it seems like he's come around quite a bit. He's always been funny though. I'll give him that. He is a funny person. He's inherently funny. I would see H3 podcast clips from like that era that I just talked about that I would like laugh at because he's a funny guy.
Zionism? What does it mean? What does it mean? People call me a Zionist all the time on the internet. To what extent does it? My the extent of my Zionism is this: do I think Israel should be wiped off the map? No. That's the extent, and that's all it takes to hit me with that catch-all. You know what I mean?
His
To
core
describe,
is
I find
gold.
it just it's turned into a slur. I'm gonna get into all that, and I hope you guys will listen. I'm grateful to everybody who's a fan of both of us. I hope you will not take this personally. It's completely
Okay,
reasonable.
I find the slur thing kind of cringe though. Like I feel like it's like the same thing as when you say like, "Oh, calling someone like calling someone cis is a slur." It's like not no, not really.
Fan of both of us, and I'm grateful that you're able to put aside whatever perceived differences
They're
we
just using it as like an insult. It's like he said before, it's a catch-all insult. It's not being used as a slur. That's so stupid.
had, and able to enjoy both of us. If you decide you can't watch, understand, love you, know that processing things that are happening um, in the news is extraordinarily difficult. I will not judge anybody for walking away. Perhaps at this point in time, it's better for both of us if you do decide to do that. However, being said, I do hope you listen to my presentation before deciding to depart. But once again, this is something in my heart that I feel I must communicate, and so that is what I'm doing. Um, and I also want to say to everyone who's expressed their support to me over the past 2 days, I am extremely grateful. Thank you. There was a point when I felt like literally nobody supported me, and it was just my own community was like I felt gaslighting me and just completely um,
Yeah, you could tell around after October 7th, this guy was not in a good state. He just was completely torn apart by his own community, by the way that they were treating him. I'm German and Mexican. What slurs can I say? I mean, I could list them, but I think I'm gonna keep my channel instead.
shitting on my beliefs. However, there was a very there was a very hopeful push towards some more healthy discourse that I felt encouraged by, and I want to thank the people that who did that, and so thank you. Yeah. Also, I want to say to Hassan that I appreciate all the times you've defended me from your community. Um, I know I'm not one to hold someone responsible for what their fans do, as you probably know that our audience does crazy shit. However,
Wait, is that true though? Wait, has he always said that? Because I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember something with XQC where he was like arguing that his fans were no. Sorry, no, this wasn't H3. I think this was actually Hassan that was making this. No, okay. Yeah, I'll go back on that.
I do think that while you tell everybody to, you know, leave me alone or
Um,
whatever it is you say,
because they will use the term Zionist against everyone. Like it's not just because he's Jewish, in my opinion. I mean, we'll see. We'll have him list his case for why he thinks he's being attacked for being Jewish specifically. But I feel like they'll call you a Zionist. Like they would call me a Zionist if I said that I was pro-Israel in any way, and I'm not Jewish at all. But I don't know.
say uh,
It's just like
that
a
your
catch-all.
rhetoric, your tone, the way you carry yourself on this topic is the reason why I'm being harassed by so many people online, a large part of your audience. So let's start from the beginning. Here's an album of the stories,
Let's go.
just to catch you guys up to date. This started with this tweet I saw. By the way, I pulled this last night to see where it was at. When I posted it, it had like 30,000 likes. It says 90,000 likes, 2 million views. I never heard of this guy, but
The I hope
or no,
they
it's
commit suicide squad.
from first of all, Comrade
I mean, this is
Casey.
kind of funny, to be honest. Not that I,
Yeah,
no, I like most of these people. I don't know. Wait, this is the Bill guy. Wait, this guy's who's this guy? What's this guy's name? Isn't he just like a traditional like news reporter?
that Comrade Casey, the guy who is a fucking absolute creepy weirdo who was posting Hamas simping shit via love that love. It was so weird. This dude. Anyway, you guys remember that whole thing? He typed in and said, "Please stop talking about me," and while continuing to talk about me. Very good. And again, I'd also like to wonder what the fuck is it exactly I've said or done to like belong in this image. I know what you're saying, right? What have I done? I continually ask myself, Why?
Dude, we're getting closer and closer to an H3 Destiny collab. They could make a new Leftovers with Destiny. That'd be awesome. Bill Maher.
Am I being held up with these group of people?
Why does this person hate Bill Maher so much? Is it because he's also pro-Palestine or pro-Israel or something?
And anyway, Comrade Casey said, I'm assembling a team. This guy, Hassan Kader, said, I hope they commit
Can you
suicide.
imagine? Can you imagine hating someone this much over like which side they support in like a fucking stupid foreign war? That is crazy to me.
Squad. And which I found, I'm like, wow, okay, so 90,000 likes telling me to kill myself for a belief. And again, this is part of the problem. Like, what have I done? Like, why am I in these memes getting 2 million views of me telling me to kill myself? Because apparently I'm like anti-Islam or I hate Gaza or whatever. I mean, Asmongold was just blasted for saying horrible shit about like I don't remember the verbatim, but he said something like Muslim culture or Arab culture is inferior, which is insane, right?
I don't think that's what he said. I don't think that he said that Arab culture is inferior. His argument was that like their culture is genociding the LGBTs, so I don't care if they get genocided. He's not talking about all Arabs or all Muslims or whatever. Like
It's fucked
obviously.
up. It's insane. When have I ever said anything like that? You know what I mean? Never. Okay. So but since when is telling people to kill themselves like normal? And again, part of the irony of this whole thing is that on the left, they're basically willing to undermine everything they believe in. Um, I guess at the behest of going after Zionists because they see Zionists as subhuman, they see them as Nazis. They've given each other permission and consent and the green light to essentially target whoever they perceive as Zionists with whatever abuse they deem necessary because they're Nazis and they're killing children and innocent people in Gaza. That is my problem. Anyway, I responded to this tweet telling me to kill myself with 90,000 likes. I said deranged shit telling me to kill myself with 36,000 likes at the time, 36. What exactly as I said or did? Nobody has ever been able to tell me.
Yeah, like out of all of the people that you could attack for being pro Israel, Ethan is like the least pro-Israel person on the like I don't know, out of everyone. Like you even like Destiny is like is more pro-Israel than Ethan, I would say.
Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, he said they have an inferior culture, but he was literally just talking about like religious like fun like Sharia law basically. I don't think that he's talking about all Muslims. Like Muslims don't inherently have to have a society where they have Sharia law.
It made me think of this tweet from our wonderful um, Houthi pirate, the cute Houthi pirate that Hassan interviewed. And I remembered this.
This is crazy. This guy, oh my God. This was the guy that he said was like the guy from One Piece. He's like, "Oh my God, you're just like the real life One Piece." And he gave him just like the biggest like softball like suck up interview ever to like he had an opportunity to like drill him a little bit or like ask him tough questions, but he just didn't do that at all because he happens to be on the side in the Israel-Palestine conflict that Hassan agrees with.
He put out
That's wild.
just a cute tweet from our favorite Houthi. Same people telling me to kill myself love this guy. And that's true. They do. They love him. Hassan interviewed him. He hypes him up even as recent as like this week. Okay. This is a tweet he put out. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. And it features somebody whose arms is tied behind their back and they've been impaled by a spike through their asshole and up and through their mouth. Now, I would like to know what people go, Hassan talked to him and he said he's not a Houthi and he says he doesn't hate Jews. Why is it you understand how this works with every other minority group? Like, do you really think that if I asked this guy, like, tell me what do you think a Zionist is, that he would have some nuanced answer about the difference? I mean, as you'll see, this kid is a rampant anti-Semite and a violent Houthi terrorist, which I will prove to you guys, in my opinion, beyond a shadow of a doubt. However, so like this kind of rhetoric, frankly, disgusts and scares me. People call me a Zionist. People call my wife a
Yeah,
Zionist.
that's the
My
problem.
family.
Is he's saying like this is what we're gonna do to Zionists, and then they're expanding the vocabulary of Zionist to mean like literally anyone who supports Israel at all. So it's like indirectly being like it's like threatening. It's like, okay, if you don't agree with us, like this is how bad of a person you are. We're gonna do this to you.
Me a Zionist.
And people will signal boost shit like this. Like really radical, like pro-Palestine people will actually be like, oh yeah, this is what they deserve.
People call
And that's
my wife
crazy.
a Zionist. It's my family. This is my children's life. Okay. And this is a guy who, someone who I considered a friend, is talking about how cute and funny and awesome he is. Well, the immediate reaction to this was our subreddit getting mobbed by Hassan fans and probably snarkers, overwhelming the comments, overwhelming it. Now, here's where they say, top comment.
Bill Meyer reminds me of the skateboard carrying Steve Buscemi. Hello, fellow youths. Really? Okay. Interesting. I've never watched anything from him. I think I've seen him in like interviews a couple times, but I've never taken notes. I have like no opinion of the guy at
Dude
all.
isn't a Houthi. He literally said it in an interview with Hassan. Like, how fucking obtuse are you? Seriously, like,
This dude isn't a Houthi. He literally said it in the interview with Hassan. Did Hassan not claim that this guy was like worked with the Houthis or something? And wasn't this guy pictured wearing like Houthi like military uniforms?
David Duke says he's not a Klan member and he doesn't actually hate black people. It's like, okay, so I guess he doesn't. Like, are you fucking dumb? Okay, I'm getting too emotional. I'll calm it down. But yeah, obviously, he isn't a Houthi. He literally said it to Hassan. Okay, great. Also, this is the part that they go after. This tweet is fake. Just like Ethan, you morons have been duped. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I saw this tweet. I remember it. This is a real tweet. What's going on here? Then people uncritically start accepting it. Wait, for real? Jesus Christ, the misinfo is nuts. Then they respond, yes, and psycho fans that are willing to believe Muslim Arabs are inherently evil will fall for this, like Ethan. Now, excuse me. I said this kid's a piece of shit, and all you heard was Arabs are evil? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, this is another thing that people always conflate. Frogan is really bad about this. Frogan will always attack Ethan saying like he hates Arabs and stuff, which is just completely unhinged. Like Ethan is very progressive. He doesn't fucking hate any group of people at all.
Like, why is that what you heard? Continuing, here's a Hassan.
It's just this like bad faith analysis of like, oh, you empathize with Israel, so that means that you hate Arabs. You're attacking someone who's an Arab who happens to be an Arab, so you hate all Arabs. Like, how is everyone not like sick of this at this point?
Oh, yeah, this guy's a Hasanabi head flare. Honestly, it's really sad watching Ethan slip into this rabbit hole and showing his bias. Brings back memory of that forsaken leftover.
By the way, this is how uncritical Hassan fans are. He literally said that he wasn't a Houthi. They literally watch this guy's stream. They believe every word that he says. And they don't listen to anyone else. And they convince themselves that Hassan is right about literally everything. It's just complete lack of like any ability to like analyze the information that they're taking at all.
When he wouldn't even engage with Palestinian plight and kept saying, what about Israel? I don't even know what he's talking about exactly, but essentially they've all...
Wait, let me turn off the captions for a second. Okay. It brings back memories of that Forsaken Leftovers episode where he wouldn't even engage with Palestinian plight and kept saying, what about Israel? I know exactly what stream he's talking about. Ethan made so many concessions on this stream, even talked about how after the stream, the conversation that he had with Hassan was so powerful and it even shifted his own viewpoint to be more pro-Palestine than he already was. And he felt like he was able to empathize with them more because of the conversation that he had with Hassan. Meanwhile, did Hassan change his perspective or opinion at all? No, he wouldn't budge at all about Israel. To him, Israel's like completely evil in all regards. And I don't know, it feels like he won't ever make a single concession. That was what was so frustrating about it to watch from the outside, was because Hassan has all these people, behind him. He's a huge streamer. They can't even recognize that someone that they like could be being like bad faith, I guess, or like unwilling to engage in any points in good faith in a conversation.
And this is just an excerpt, but the whole chat was like, "This is misinfo." Ethan's like, um, lying, and this kid is innocent. He would never tweet this. He would never ever tweet this. Moving on to the next one, I did a tiny bit of research and I found the archive. Thankfully, I would have lost my mind if I didn't, because I swear I saw it. Here's the tweet.
Yeah, so people will claim anything. They'll say, "Oh, this tweet is actually photoshopped. He never tweeted this." But luckily, Ethan was able to get the archive.is link, which proves that this is real.
It happened. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. Here it is.
Also, notice how he's saying "we." Who is we? If you're not a Houthi, what group are you part of that wants to carry out executions on Zionists?
From this kid, July 23rd, 2024. By the way, he's banned on all social medias, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's a fucking terrorist and he posts shit like this. Okay? Does that surprise anybody? I said, so now that we've proven it's real, I suppose we'll see a lot of apologies and corrections. Of course, we did not see that. But kind of what continues to shock me is, people on the left are so hypercritical of MAGA people being like divorced from reality and not listening to reason and not acknowledging facts and kind of just thinking, and whatever they think is real, they speak and it becomes real. That's literally what just happened in that chat.
Yeah.
I posted something that was true, and because it went against their dogma, they swarmed our subreddit to accuse me of lying with zero evidence, and people.
It's just like the rejection of reality is like an insane degree when it comes to this topic for some reason. It's just completely fucked. Like, I hate when people are hypocritical about that too. Like when they are unwilling to engage with like the truth on one side of the aisle, but then on their side it's like, here's all the data, so you're not engaging with the truth. You're being bad faith, and meanwhile they themselves are being bad faith to the other people.
Uncritically believe them. That to me is disturbing, and that to me is dangerous. Here's a post that, again, doesn't have a lot of engagement, but I was struck by the fact that it had minus like, excuse me. As I said, I'm getting over something nasty. This person said, so all the hate speech and threats of violence are fine because there's other horrendous violence. It's okay for everyone to post violent hate speech because violence exists. Please explain. Things can be bad without there being a comparison. It's not a zero-sum game. I don't want atrocities, cruelty, and violence, and I don't want hate speech all over social media. Being downvoted because I guess you guys are okay with seeing people threaten to kill, spear people alive. All I hate.
Yeah, that's wild that that's on his own subreddit, because I would say that for the most part his subreddit is pretty supportive of him at this point. Like all the really radical Palestine people who are like Hassan viewers have left. They don't like Ethan anymore. So it's kind of interesting to see that there's must be a few people lingering around at least that are still fully like on board with this stuff.
Stuff is bad is apparently a controversial opinion. This world's so fucked. And this person was getting downvoted. And it's like, dude, this is in my own community. The consensus I should just take the anti-Semitism and keep moving, and how dare I even complain or acknowledge it, is so absurd. I invite you to imagine even saying that to another minority group, and then being applauded and upvoted and cheered on for it. You know where you see that? Fucking probably 4chan. Or, MAGA threads. Probably where you see white supremacists talking about other races and stuff where they're, just, shut up and take it.
I don't even see that much crazy stuff on that side of the aisle as I do on the pro-Palestine side. Like I see insane shit on Twitter all the time, but it's never like outwardly like violent ideation like this shit.
And once again, what does anti-Semitism have to do with Zionism?
It's just weird how like it's so socially acceptable in this case.
If I'm talking about anti-Semitism and your response is, I just don't care because of all this stuff happening in Gaza, how is it related? You're the one conflating Zionism and Judaism, and you do it all the time. Next, here's another
Wait,
one.
did he explain why they're conflating Zionism and Judaism here? Is he saying these people are only attacking him because he's Jewish?
Snobby head. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist, right? Fuck Zionists. For real, fuck Zionism. He is. I mean, again, there's a famous clip of him calling the West Bank a Palestine terrorist city. I'm not sure what that one is, but again, I'm willing to address anything that comes up.
Is this because he said that this city, the West Bank, was controlled by terrorist groups? Is that what they're talking about? Because that sounds like something that he would say, which, to my understanding, is true. But I'm not sure. Did he just call it a terrorist city? I don't know. These are Hassanabi heads after all, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is extremely skewed.
I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist. So they're saying, like, why should he care about. Hold on, let me make sure I'm doing this in order. So they're saying, in response to the spike, this person being impaled by a spike to death, and him saying, I want to kill all Zionists like this, they say, why should Ethan care? He's not a Zionist. In fact, this is proof he's a Zionist because he doesn't like this. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist, right? Fuck Zionists.
Oh my God.
And again,
It's just like you have to be 100% on one side or the other. Like he's saying, if Ethan is saying this is terrible, he's not saying that Zionism is good. He's saying that political violence and like encouraging violence and the fact that people are okay with this is bad. That's all that he's saying.
reminder, this is a picture of someone being impaled from their asshole to their mouth. And people are saying, fuck Zionists. For real, fuck Zionists. These people are essentially co-signing these threats of violence.
Yeah,
Calling
I fully agree with that. I feel like these people are like okaying it almost. Like they're saying that this is somewhat acceptable because the sentiment behind it, anti-Zionism, is good. So therefore, this is totally valid. And like, why would Ethan care about this if he's not a Zionist? Really makes you think.
Zionists. Because I apparently care about people being spiked up the asshole. FBI crime stats. This came out, I think, just last month. Jews make up 2% of the population and 15% of hate crimes
He's pulling out the FBI crime stats. Okay.
in America. Must be nice for people unaffected by anti-Semitism to tell Jews it doesn't matter. It must be nice to have that, to come from that that place of moral superiority. You're completely unaffected.
Wait, did he scroll down past the anti-black violence to show that? Wait, why can't we see this one?
It's quite stark. I mean, African American hate crimes are still number one, but for the proportion of
Okay, he addresses it here. He's not trying to hide it or anything.
Jews making up like 2% of the population of America, the fact that they're number two is pretty stark.
Wait, what are the actual stats? Hold on, I want to see how high anti-black crimes are too.
Again, you'll hear.
Hold on. FBI hate crime stats. FBI hate crime stats. Hate crime statistics. Wait, what is this website that he's on? FBI, CDE, UCR, CJIS, Gov, hate crime stats. Wait, this is bias types? Bias types. FBI Crime Data Explorer. Okay. We're going to take a look at this website real quick. Okay. Data discovery tool. Explore hate crime data. All biases. Can we look at the chart that he's looking at? Race, ethnicity. Okay, can we see the breakdown, please? Victim type. Can we see the ethnicity? Where did he find this? I'll keep looking while we let this play.
So again, you'll hear this kind of relates to a statement Hassan says. Maybe I'll pull it up now. Okay. One sec. Hassan says 16 in the doc. Here it is. One sec here, guys. 16 in the doc. This relates to this.
Okay, so we have bias types here. Anti-black. Well, this is a different chart than he was looking at, to be fair. Anti-Jewish is the second most. Interesting. Anti-Jehovah's Witness is the smallest. Anti-heterosexual, there's 75 hate crimes a year against heterosexuals. Guys, we are so oppressed. Holy shit.
I think what's crazy about this
He's
is
talking
that, like,
about honestly, at this point, I don't even remember what me and Frogan were arguing about, but he's basically defending Frogan. Do you remember what happened, Dan? Is Dan there? What happened with Frogan? I literally don't even remember the details of it. You don't want to say. That's fine.
you
yeah,
unfollowed her.
I say what?
You unfollowed her, and then she talked about it in Discord.
Is that what he's talking about? Oh, this is from the first one? Yeah. Okay. So then that's what it's about. When I unfollowed her, and then she said I hate Arabs and stuff in Hassan's Discord.
Yeah, she
And
is
instead of,
fucking unhinged. I hate Frogan. I actually like hate Frogan so much.
And this is a mod on his channel. Instead of, having
Rising Star of the Year, by the way, guys. 2 years in a row, Rising Star
a
award.
word with her about, what's going on, he actually chastised me. For what? Let's see.
Ethan is very frustrated and very emotional in this moment, but doesn't recognize that, like, perhaps a Lebanese woman who's a hijabi in the United States of America could also be very emotional in this exact same moment.
Wah. Cry about it.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so... And the reality of the matter is, anti-Semitism is...
This is literally, oh, she has it worse than you. So of course she's going to be more upset than you. Of course she's going to be upset. Like, Ethan is getting attacked way more than her. Are you kidding me? She's literally basically a nobody. She's known for being a Hasan mod. That is like her biggest like hit of fame ever. H3 is a massive channel.
an unacceptable
Their
form
podcast channel has 2.85 million subs.
of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia
And
is
and Hassan's entire community like hated him at this point.
a very acceptable form of bigotry.
Oh my god, wait.
Bigotry. The matter is, anti-Semitism is an unacceptable form of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia is a very acceptable form of bigotry.
Oh my
So
god.
being the bigger person in this situation, regardless of your feelings,
So anyway, and God,
So yeah, guys, actually anti-Semitism is not acceptable at all, but Islamophobia like is so widely accepted. Like, no, it's not. Neither of those things are widely acceptable.
God forbid you actually read the chat.
Why is he playing this game where he's like, well, actually, she's more oppressed, so she deserves to have a like a bigger breakdown and a bigger freak out. What's up, Kaylee?
But what I'm hearing, frankly, is that anti-Semitism is not really an issue, and so you shouldn't. Your complaints are less equal than Frogan's complaints.
Yes.
Because Islamophobia is more serious.
100%. That is what he's saying.
Anti-Semitism, despite, by the way, the fact that, as I pointed out,
Hassan phrases everything in these like really snaky ways where it's like he's implying certain things and he's like justifying it to his audience, but in reality he's making an insane claim and he's being sneaky to avoid people realizing that it's an insane claim.
in reality, or not the opposite, because there is Islamophobia, but like this claim that anti-Semitism doesn't exist because everybody knows it wrong, as I perceiving it, is absolutely false. I've never seen more open anti-Semitism in my life, my whole life. The way that it's being normalized by the left and the right, and it's being kind of, in a case like this.
Yeah, Kaylee, it's live on a H3 show right now. I don't know if they're still talking about it here. It looks like they are. Yeah, this is like a really long segment, so
He's normalizing it.
we're towards the beginning of it. It's been about like a half hour. Let's see, I've been live for 45 minutes. Yeah.
Normalizing it, he's green lighting it. Again, FBI stats. Jews are number 2. 2% of the population, 15% of all hate crimes. Okay?
Dude, give this guy a geek bar. This guy needs a pack of cigarettes right now. Look at his eyes. He's geeked.
This is all I'm here. This
I
is what I
think
hear.
what's crazy about
this to me
this is that,
it's
like-
disgusting. Frankly, it's disgusting. It's a disgusting thing to
Yeah.
see in the face of rising anti-Semitism, which once again, apparently, has nothing to do with Zionism.
Ethan is
So why?
I will agree. I think that the Israel-Palestine conflict has given a lot of people the pass, for lack of a better word. Like, I think that like people are kind of brushing it aside a little bit more, and that is causing like anti-Semitism to be on the rise. I would agree with that.
Why is it, that like when Stop Asian Hate, that movement happened, when, these terrible hate crimes were happening to Asian people during COVID, of like random acts of violence in New York City and elsewhere, the people like Hassan, excuse me, and left rallied behind them. Nobody said, well, there is a chance China let it out of a lab, so, maybe the problem is that you need to get a hold of China. Maybe you wouldn't be getting punched in the face if China wasn't locking down its country and whatever. That's what I hear from people like Hassan.
Can I just
very
And this is exactly what the like extreme lefties that like watch Hassan need to hear. They need to have it compared to these other situations that Hassan himself is very against in order to understand the hypocrisy. Like, this is not made for like people who are more towards like the center, like I assume most of my audience is. It's for these insane Hassan heads.
There's a few things I want to say, but I want you to finish. I know you have a lot to get through, so I'd rather say it at the end. But there are a couple things
Okay.
I'd like to say in response.
Okay.
and very emotional in this moment, but doesn't recognize that, like, perhaps a Lebanese woman who's a hijabi in the United States of America
dude.
could also be very emotional in this exact same moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so. And
Not only is she half Lebanese, she also wears a hijab. So that means that the Palestine conflict affects her more than you, Ethan.
And once again,
Fucking
comparing actions,
ridiculous.
I quietly unfollowed her to avoid any problems. She was posting what I
Yeah,
perceived.
she was the one making a big deal out of it. It wasn't Ethan. Ethan was like, all right, like, I don't want to see this on my timeline anymore. She's being unhinged. She's attacking me, whatever. Yeah, well, the thing was, Ethan did not realize how radical Hassan's audience was, because they were both on the progressive left before, and they got along on like most issues up until this point. They did have a few conversations debating socialism or communism versus social democracy, which is what Ethan believes in. He still believes in capitalism, whatever. This is when he started to realize that they were very different politically, despite being on the same side of the aisle and having progressive social views. Then, when the Israel-Palestine conflict, really kicked off after October 7th, this is when Ethan had the full-blown realization of how radicalized Hassan was and how radicalized his audience was, that was now shared with Ethan's audience, and how big of a mistake he had made. So yeah, now like looking back, it's like really obvious how they shouldn't have ever gotten along. But I think at the time, like, Ethan was obviously pandering a lot more to like the far left, and that caused him to sort of have a blind spot for this like extreme stuff.
As sympathetic posts encouraging and glorifying Hamas violence against Israelis. Didn't want to see it. I unfollowed her. She started making a huge scene, and including going into Hassan's community as a moderator and saying, I hate Arabs. The actions are not equal.
Wait, who
Not
said that
even
they hate
close.
Arabs? What?
And saying, making a huge
Oh,
scene.
yeah. Frogan was saying that Ethan hates Arabs, which is an absurd statement. For Ethan, keep in mind, Ethan is extremely pro-Palestine at this point. And he's saying that, what Israel is doing is wrong. He doesn't support the Israeli government. Then Frogan takes this as like he hates Arabs. How could you make that deduction? Like that is in itself like so ignorant to make that assumption off the back of him being supportive of the thing that you support, just not as supportive to an unhinged degree as you. It's crazy.
And including going into Hassan's community as a moderator and saying, I hate Arabs. The actions are not equal, not even close.
The reality of the matter is anti-Semitism is an unacceptable form of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia is a very acceptable form of bigotry.
Like, how is he even making this comparison? This is so bizarre. Like, how hard is it to say that these things are both wrong? And if either one is on the rise, you have to denounce it. It's not one side or the other, right? Like, if you're on Hassan's team, if you're on Ethan's team or whatever, and you want to say like all of these things are wrong, it's very easy to denounce all of it and to say, yes, Islamophobia is very wrong, but that doesn't justify like anti-Semitism or whatever, right? It's not that hard. But Hassan is playing this game to manipulate his audience.
Again, her problem with Islamophobia is worth listening to. It's very real, and we have to listen to her. And frankly, she can't really do anything wrong. It seems like no matter what, because she's emotional.
Yeah,
or
that's exactly what he's saying. She can't do any wrong. You have to forgive her because she's just in such an emotional state because she's Muslim.
She's a woman who's wearing a hijabi. He said, I don't know how to say it. Hijabi.
Yeah.
And so therefore, what she gets a pass on everything, and I never get to complain about anti-Semitism, even though Jews on a whole, according to FBI stats, there's more hate crimes against Jews than there are at this moment than Arabs or Muslims, according to the FBI stats. Now, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying what he's saying here is factually wrong. It's just an outright lie to make it seem like Jews are complaining about something that doesn't exist, even though they are. And it's a gaslighting campaign that continues to go on.
It is a gaslighting campaign.
Going back.
Yeah, I'm more oppressed than you. Well, yeah, 100%. Hassan also, I mean, we're getting a little off topic here, but he weaponizes like his own race in different ways. Like he'll say he's like a chameleon, right? He'll say, I mean, this is an easy take. Everyone has this take. I'm not the first person to say this. He'll say that he's Turkish. He'll say that he's culturally a Muslim when he's never practiced like Islam. Like he's obviously not a Muslim, right? He'll say, I'm a cultural Muslim. To give himself leverage and to have insight into like anti-Islam sentiment, as if like that makes like what he's saying like more valuable somehow. And then he'll be like, when he's talking about like, you know, white privilege or whatever, he'll say, oh yeah, I'm a white guy, so you should listen to me. Oh, he's Turkish when it matters. He's white when it matters. He's a cultural Muslim when it matters. He's also rich and poor conveniently at the same time. He came from a poor country, but also he was very fortunate. He does this all the time.
I'm skipping around a little bit, trying to make sense, but we're getting there. If you guys want to look, the whole FBI census was posted recently, the new one.
Wait, did we go
It's
back?
interesting. I mean,
Did I go back?
check it out
No.
if you're interested. But yeah, FBI crime stats on USA, telling people that anti-Semitism doesn't matter must be awesome and nice when literally you don't care. Do you think it's normal? So now the question goes to like, so first they said,
Yeah, I stopped watching H3 when Leftovers started. He got on my nerves. Yeah. A lot of people just didn't get that bad vibe from him until, you know, the fallout, the whole like Hassan Ethan fallout thing. But yeah, Hassan has been very annoying for like his entire career.
the tweet was fake about.
Oh, so here's the picture that I was talking about earlier. This is the guy that Hassan had on his stream that everyone is claiming is not a Houthi. But here he is wearing a, I assume, Houthi military uniform with a gun with like things to hold his magazines and shit. Yeah, so how is this not like an easy conclusion to come to that this guy's a Houthi? He's associated with the Houthis. He's hanging out on the ships or whatever, right? He's wearing the uniforms. He's strapped.
The pike.
Is it really that hard to conclude that this guy's a Houthi? Is that really that far out there to assume that?
Killing Zionists with a pike. Okay, that's proven real. But then they say, well, he's not a Houthi pirate. He's just like a cool, awesome Yemenis kid.
Yeah, he's just cool. He's just a cool, awesome Luffy from One Piece.
Kind of just like Good Kid, Mad City or whatever.
This guy's so brat, guys. This guy's so fucking brat.
Kendrick reference. Not now, Ethan. Do you think it's no? So I'd like to.
I feel bad for Ethan. I feel like I can kind of tell that he's like really stressed out talking about this. He just has no choice but to talk about it. Like he talked about this at the beginning of the stream. It's been on his mind and he feels an obligation to use his platform to talk about it. But you can tell that he's very uncomfortable having to address all this stuff, but it's important to him.
explore that accusation that he is not a Houthi. Okay, let's look at some of the evidence. Here he is with the AK and combat fatigues. Now, in poverty-stricken Yemen, do you think it's possible to get Yemeni? Thank you, Yemeni, not Yemenis. Do you think it's possible? Or do you think it's likely to get an AK or an automatic assault rifle in Yemen, poverty-stricken, if you're not affiliated with the Houthis? I mean, guns are expensive as fuck, and it's kind of surprising, dude. And I just continue.
Okay, to be fair, the way that works in smaller countries, I'm pretty sure, I could go back on this, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more guns in that area in general. So they're not as expensive as they are in the US, like proportionally. There's just a lot of war over there and there's a lot of weapons of war. But I still think that this guy's obviously a Houthi.
There's so much evidence this dude is Jew-hating terrorist. Just say you support the Houthis, stand on your shit. Again, I respect that. Just say you support the Houthis, which his son does, and we'll get to that. But so here he is with a rifle, and again, okay, maybe he found that.
Larix just dropped his Bo Blacks video too, so maybe we'll take a look at that after too. To be fair though, I think I should give him like a few hours. I mean, it's not like my channel's gonna steal all his views, but just out of, you know,
I don't know how you get
just out of what's it called, respect or whatever.
a high-powered rifle in Yemen without being affiliated with the Houthis, living in Houthi territory, but maybe he found it. I don't know. Here he is on top.
Oh my god, this post is ridiculous. Ship, ship, ship. We bombed a ship, and he's like making a thirst trap. What is this, dude? Ship, ship, ship. We bombed a ship. Hey guys, I'm just like a heartthrob. Like, guys, I'm just such a cute TikTok, like fucking heartthrob.
Bo. Ship, we bombed a ship.
He made sure to get a good angle and to make the pic look as nice as possible. Did he smooth out his skin with like a filter too? This is actually really funny.
It's him on a boat in the sea that was commandeered by Houthis.
Yeah, not the courtesy delay restream. Courtesy, that's what I was thinking about. That's the word I was thinking of.
Here he is.
Oh, here's another one.
A translation that it wouldn't translate for me in the pictures, but feel free to do it. It says, ready to sacrifice, longing for martyrdom on top of a
Jesus
pirated vessel. Maybe he's talking about maybe he's talking about something else.
Guys, maybe he's just quoting One Piece. He's such a huge One Piece fan. Who knows?
I don't know. Longing for martyrdom, ready for sacrifice. Who knows? Maybe he's talking about something else, you know? It's possible, right? Here he is singing a little ditty on
Holy
TikTok.
shit.
It goes, do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew?
That's crazy.
Nice little ditty there. Once again, clearly
Nice
making a
little ditty. Is this an H3 like meme that I'm not aware? I know the ditty stuff, obviously. I know the Diddy party, whatever. Diddy is in jail, whatever. But what is this like Diddy made this song joke?
the distinction between Jews and Israelis. But just because he told Hassan through a translator once that he doesn't hate Jews, just Zionists, we're going to give him a pass. He's a good
Yeah, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Yeah.
He's awesome. He's hot.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Kaylee. Have a good day.
Cute kid. So that's good. Yeah. That's fucked up. And now I'm giving myself a note to look at number 12. One moment. Here he is. Now here, this is from a story. This is from the interview Hassan did with him. At the time, I have to admit, this interview blew my mind. I thought that this would be a bridge too far and that Twitch would step in and do something. He's interviewing a terrorist. And it's not that he's interviewing a terrorist, because I've seen Hassan try to deflect, just saying, oh, CNN reached me, BBC reached me, they want to talk to him, therefore it's real journalism. Hasan did not ask. him.
Okay, I'm stealing this take again. I think this was Chud that said this, but like a BBC interview or a Vice interview with a controversial figure like this, like someone in a terrorist group, is fine. But you have to ask them the questions that people want to hear. You don't just give them a softball interview and like gas them up as if they're this like legendary cool guy. That's not what those news outlets do. So what he's doing is not identical to like a BBC like journalism piece or like a Vice piece on like a insane crazy person. They approach these subjects like very carefully and they make sure to address the things that need to be addressed in it.
One critical question. In fact, the opposite. It was a complete puff piece where he sucked him off, elevated him, was uncritical, and
Yeah.
even in the moments of absolutely
much time with-
insane statements like this, he essentially covers for him and acts like ignorant.
Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did caught with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing. So he likes him, yeah.
So what?
He did drugs with them guys. Isn't that so cool?
Yes, he just admitted to being a terrorist who's hanging out with hostages. That's literally just what happened. And it's on notice.
Wait, did he say hostages? Hold on.
Terrorists.
What?
So he likes him, yeah.
We're going back.
Time with-
Insane statements like this, he essentially covers for him and acts like ignorant.
Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did caught with them, and he danced some music with them, and he was vibing. So he
One of the hostages was Chinese and he did caught with them and danced with them.
likes him, yeah.
So what?
Yes, he just admitted to being.
Isn't that so funny? Isn't that so funny, Hasan, that he like was dancing with the hostages that his fucking group took? That's
a
hilarious.
Terrorist who's hanging out with hostages. That's literally just what happened. And Hassan knows it. That's why he's laughing not and trying to deflect.
That's so crazy.
Yes, it
So
is.
they're just chilling with the captains. Like I don't understand.
You
So
don't
America-
understand? Why would? Do you think anyone would just get access to hang out with like these hostages? Why would he be hanging out with hostages? I don't know. But Hassan does a good way of deflecting it and being like, "Oh no, this is just funny, silly stuff." You know what I mean? Awesome. Moving on to the next part. Here's more terrorcore tweets, I like to call them, from our friend
Terror core.
Luffy in IRL. There's a couple more for you guys to enjoy. This one is whatever. This one is the ships we bombed and sank.
Holy shit. So there is no doubt in my mind at this point that this guy is a Houthi terrorist. The ships we bombed and sank. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv, the Jaffa drone. Jesus Christ.
Okay, not him because he's not a Houthi, but apparently they bombed and sank stuff. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach.
Yo, what's up, Brandon?
It's him once again with an assault rifle, looks like an AK-47.
He's gonna put this into your stomach. That's so nice, dude. This guy's
so
not a terrorist or a Houthi or anything.
It's the second
Totally.
death threat he's made against Zionists, and of course, as we know that he loves in his songs, "Son of a Jew," we will.
Yeah, so this H3 stream went live. I was gonna start at 3:30, but I've been live for like an hour now. I started a little early because this stream is insane.
Kill you. There's a healthy distinction here between Zionists and Jews, and therefore, why should I care at all that Hassan is propping up a dude who's threatening to kill Zionists, who clearly has no healthy distinction between the two?
Yeah, so the issue is because he's saying this about Zionists. Meanwhile, people are calling Ethan, people who aren't even like full-blown pro-Israel, Zionists. Anyone who supports Israel's right to exist at all is now a Zionist. So what does that mean? What do these threats mean now? He's simultaneously doing both of these things.
And he continues to blur the lines between people who say Zionists and people who mean like normal ass people who aren't fucking like genocide committers, and opening the door to rampant, blatant, open anti-Semitism of the guys using the slur Zionism, which has no fucking meaning, no definition.
My volume's good? Sweet. That's good, that's good.
Because it's so broad It's so nebulous, it means nothing.
So it looks like I'm trying to get for my own reference, I'm trying to get my audio in between like -10 and -5, and then the video's at
It
like
can be employed
negative 20, 25-ish,
1,000
20
different
to
ways,
25.
thousands of people, and people use it just as a matter of fact. Like everybody knows what it means. People started calling Bernie Sanders and AOC
Oh shit, okay, yeah,
Zionists.
here.
I forget why, but they did something that everyone perceived as being pro-Israel or something, and now they're Zionists
Is that better?
and you know it's like, well, I know they're not, I know AOC's not a Zionist. You know what I mean? But according to him, we need to kill her. We need to put her on a spike. We need to put AOC on a spike, kill her, shoot her with a gun. That's what Hassan thinks is not a problem. Moving on.
The problem is Hassan too.
I
He
don't know.
won't even like. He will never take something back. Like he'll never look back on this interview and acknowledge like, yes, I platformed this guy. I didn't do a good enough job interviewing him, and I made him look like some sort of hero. In reality, like I found out later that he's like a bad guy. He's actually part of the Houthis. He's actually taking part in these like terrorist attacks. And so I've decided to not support him anymore and remove my interview with him. He can't even do that. He can't even admit that this guy's a terrorist. He's like, well, in the interview, he said that he wasn't a terrorist, so I'm just gonna take his word for it, man.
Oh, is he affiliated with the Houthis? I mean,
Are we good
listen,
now? I don't mind adjusting it more if needed.
at this point, I believe that it's impossible to deny. I do. I think it's
Yeah.
impossible.
So at the start of the stream, I did say, like, I don't know if this guy's a Houthi or not. I haven't looked at any of this evidence. He's 100% a Houthi. Ethan has brought plenty of evidence forward that has proven that this guy is most likely a Houthi.
Deny that this kid is affiliated, deeply involved with the Houthis. He's on ships. He's blowing up ships. He's hanging out with hostages. He's walking around with guns.
Yeah, he's doing
combat
drugs with the
fatigues.
hostages, guys.
I
He's like a
just-
hero. It's so cool.
There's enough evidence, all right, to at least be like, hey, you know what? Let's not fucking spike Zionists, okay? But no, his fans, here's what they do. They first call me a liar that the tweet's not real. Then, once the tweet's real, they say he's not a Houthi. So, also you're lying. There's no point to which reality
Yeah, why? Yeah, he wouldn't even be allowed on the ships in the first place. Like, the story doesn't even make sense.
catches up with these people. There's no point in which
No, he's just like, he's not like a Houthi. He's like a totally chill, like, non-violent guy. He just likes to hang out with hostages on the Houthi ships.
me presenting facts, disputable facts will change their mind that whatever they're obsessed with is real, and that
Wait, he just said Israel. Wait, is this a subliminal message? Holy shit. Wait, we gotta listen to that. We gotta listen to that on 0.25.
mind that whatever
Hold on, listen to this, guys.
they're obsessed with is real.
Israel. Did you guys hear it? That's crazy.
And that me, a Zionist, is lying. That's the beginning, and that's the end. Maybe, and then I see people. The next part of the argument is this. So, you're lying. It's not a real tweet. Okay, it's a real tweet. Well, he's not a Houthi. You're lying about that. Okay, fine. He might be affiliated with Houthis, but Houthis are actually awesome. Seen Hassan say that a lot, and I'll show it. To you.
True. It's almost like the same thing as it's not happening, but if it is, then it's a good thing or whatever. How does that whole saying go? It's literally the same logic applied to that.
As I move on, Houthis are awesome. I've even heard people, the likes of Norm Finkelstein, saying that they should be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, the Houthis.
Jesus.
And Hassan very much is a fan of the Houthis, which I'll show. Let's start with the Houthi flag. Here is their official flag of the Houthi terrorist organization. It says, Allah Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, curse the Jews, victory to Islam. This is their flag.
This guy doesn't hate Jews though, guys. This guy's just so chill. He doesn't even care if the hostages are Chinese. He'll party with anyone.
This is their pirate flag. What do you call it? There's a name for that. It's like a catchy name for it. I think someone
Is he talking about Jolly Roger?
whatever. It doesn't matter. It's their pirate flag. Death. Now again, a Jolly Roger. Thank you guys.
Yes,
Now
dude.
again,
I'm such a genius. This is why you should listen to everything I say and believe it.
to Israel, curse the Jews. Not a great distinction between Zionism and Jews. And this is basically their flag. So, I mean, this is equal to people who are trying to tell me, like, Hamas revived
This is like something the Borat would have in his house.
their charter in 2016. So, therefore, they no longer want to kill Jews. It's like, give me a fucking break. You would never run this kind of defense for the obvious dog whistling that you see by terrorist organizations. If it was about any other minority group. You know, they changed their, actually, they didn't change it. They added a new chapter. They didn't even change the original charter. It still stands as it is, unedited. But they added like a new chapter that's like, actually, we don't hate Jews. We just hate Israel. In 2016, when they realized how important the
PR is.
information warfare was happening online, on TikTok, on Twitter. And of course, they were right. We can all see that they've been very successful in that, in spreading that. It's gone all the way up to Hassan, which is now accepted form of discourse that Hamas somehow doesn't hate Jews because they up. Anyway, besides the point, this is the Houthi flag. Thank you. Up next. Recently, the Houthis were in the news for sentencing 13 to public execution for
Oopsies.
homosexuality charges.
Uh-oh.
Common theme here.
This is what asmongold was getting at. Wait, what is this? Why are they doing the Roman salute? Wait, this is crazy. That's an interesting little parallel there.
In Houthi-controlled Yemen,
Wait, I think I see the guy. I think I see him. The kid. He's right there. He's right there, guys. He's doing it.
here they are doing a Heil Hitler.
That's a joke. That's a joke, by the way.
I don't. Is there any other explanation for this other than just doing Heil Hitler, taking an oath of allegiance?
Oath of allegiance to the Houthi movement. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, it certainly looks.
Do you think Hitler would have liked these guys? Do you think he would have let them join?
Heil Hitler, but okay. Maybe they're just fucking. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, maybe.
The guy
Maybe it's just a coincidence.
with the in their flag right here that says "Curse upon the Jews"
Yeah.
is doing a.
They
Heil
don't know what they're doing. It's a different culture. Come on, man. This is the symbol of peace in Lebanon. Where are the Houthis from? This is a symbol of peace. This is like the peace sign for them.
Hitler. But at any rate,
It means
they're
unity, peace, love, and unity.
executing gay people publicly. That's not cool.
That's
They
not
are,
cool. Yeah.
Taking boats indiscriminately. Another talk about you hear about these terrorists is that they're only targeting Israeli-controlled ships affiliated with Israel. In fact, Houthis are taking boats indiscriminately. They are terrorizing the entire sea there.
By the way, we didn't really talk about this yet, but we might talk about it later if we talk about Asman. But this is probably what Asman was getting at in his recent controversial stream where he talked to Hasan when he was saying like their culture doesn't respect the LGBTs or whatever, and that's why he thinks that their culture is inferior. This is a type of stuff that I think he's talking about. They executed people on homosexuality charges, and he's using that as an example.
And once again, a huge number of these ships have nothing to do with Israel. Here, it's an excerpt from this BBC article. The Houthis initially said they were attacking ships connected with Israel or headed to or from there. However, many of the vessels have no connection with Israel. Major shipping companies have stopped using the Red Sea, through which almost 15% of global sea.
Did he say, oh my God, wait, I totally missed that. He said that they're not attacking U.S. ships, but they actually are. See, this is why I have a chat, so I can learn. I'm super ignorant on this whole conflict. I don't know that much, but I feel like even I can see sort of what's going on.
Usually passes and are using a much longer route around southern Africa instead. So, once again, people run defense for the Houthis, Hassan included, saying, as I'll show you later, that they only target Israel ships. It's not true. Not only that, they board these ships, they take hostages, and then, guess what? They disappear. We don't even know where the fuck they are. They kidnap people. None of them Israeli, by the way. And apparently they hang out and have parties with this cute youth Houthi kid. But other than that, we don't know where they are. We don't know what they want. We don't know if they're alive. And it's just a fun game we like to play with the good guys over at the Houthis.
Yeah, it's just like a funny joke. It's just One Piece in real life. All right. Bathroom break time. We're putting on the Rips Is aesthetics pack, all right? Be right back. Oh, dude, that would have been a good time for Israel gaming. Goddamn. Don't worry, we'll hit a good Israel gaming before the end of this stream.
Here's a CNN article about them imprisoning shipping crew hostages indefinitely. Let's take a look here, just for your enjoyment. Hope is fading for imminent return of the international crew of the cargo ship hijacked by Houthis in November. The senior Filipino diplomat saying he's not expected a release date until the war in Gaza is over. Houthi-owned helicopter hijacked the Galaxy cargo ship November 19 in the Red Sea. So yeah, they took these hostages. None of them are Israeli. In fact, I have a rundown of their nationality here. Hostages taken from the Galaxy. Yeah, thank you. The hostages comprised of 17 Filipinos, 2 Bulgarians, 3 Ukrainians, 2 Mexicans, and 1 Romanian. 22 hostages, 0 Israelis, 0 Americans. I mean, even though
How do they find all those people? Do they go on like a tour? They go on a wait. Hasan would say they're basically taking them on a free cruise right now. This is actually a good thing because it's like a free vacation for underprivileged communities like Bulgarians
the only
and
European one is
Filipinos.
Ukrainian. Yeah. And so, what did I say? What did I say? Anyway, what I meant to say, 2 from Bulgaria and 1 from Romania. That's correct. Okay. Excuse me. So they've taken a ton of hostages, none of them even relevant to this conflict, and they are holding them indefinitely, and nobody knows what's going on with them, if they're alive, if they're dead, if they're being treated well, if they're being mistreated. It's a mystery. They're probably trying to shake down countries, sell back the hostages, or just, I don't know. But that's what's going on with the great guys over at the Houthis, kidnapping random working class people from random countries. And by the way, may I say that crew is extraordinarily multinational. I mean, we should be what a global workforce they have there.
Yeah, they have so much diversity. This is like Hasan's paradise, actually.
Oh, excuse me.
Hasan should actually go on one of these ships and do a little on the ground journalism. That would be pretty good. That would actually be good content, Hasan.
here it gets better. The Houthis have been arbitrarily kidnapping aid workers helping in the famine in Yemen. There's a terrible famine happening in Yemen. Terrible humanitarian crisis. But the Houthis have decided to start arbitrarily kidnapping people who are there to help the humanitarian crisis. They're charity workers. And once again, just like the hostages, they're kind of just disappeared. They don't know where they are, what's happened to them, if they're dead, if they're alive, if they're safe. They just kind of took them, and that's that.
Wait, so they took the aid
this is a
workers?
press-
God damn. That is brutal.
Police from the United Nations. Just to read a quote here. The targeting of humanitarians in Yemen, including arbitrary detention, intimidation, mistreatment, and false allegations.
How's Hassan not banned? Dude, that's what I'm saying. We're going to get into the asmongold stuff later, but like, if asmongold is banned, the things that Hassan has done and said on his stream are worse, in my opinion.
And all those detained must be released immediately, they stressed. Yeah. So they're not.
How's he
frankly,
not
trying to help.
arrested? Nah, I don't know if I would agree with having him arrested, but
The humanitarian crisis happening in their country, and it's tragic. It really is. These are not good people. In fact, they're quite evil. It seems. So, with all that being said, I feel like I've established that the Houthis are a terrible group of people. I'm sure there's a million other things I could say about them, but Hassan interviews this kid who is almost certainly affiliated with Houthis, and asks him a few hard-hitting questions. Let's take a look at some of them.
Okay, this is a stupid question. Okay, you can preface it with that. Does he know what One Piece is?
اول شيء بقول لك انه ممكن هذا السؤال يكون شوي اهبل بس بسالك تعرف شو هو ون بيس عم بتسمع بي ون بيس
اكيد يعني مثل الدخول
you
على
can censor comments. So the YouTube auto, if you're chatting, I have it on as little auto moderation as possible. So if you send a message and it doesn't show up in chat, that's not me doing it. I don't ever really delete messages.
شاهد ون بيس لوفي.
Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
Wait, the guy
Sick.
from One Direction died? Which one? Wait, that's crazy.
Yes, that's fire. That's so fire. Oh my god, we think the Houthis.
Wait, are you talking about the Harry Styles guy? Wait, was he in One Direction?
But Allah is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
بقول لك حسن انه اللي
So this is a meme. He's saying the Houthi pirates are like Luffy. Luffy, of course, is this irreverent, fun-loving, happy, lovable character who just wants to experience freedom on the high
Oh,
seas.
Liam Payne. Jesus. All I'm going to say is I think he should have gambled more. He should have put it all on red.
And it
Yeah.
appeals to youth, appeals to young
It gets auto-modded. I don't know why it does that. If I could turn that off, I absolutely would. But yeah, sorry about that, Kitchener.
people. And Hassan is working overtime to convince people that this child, who is a terrorist, not child, he's like 20. This kid who's a terrorist is just like Luffy. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I've only seen halfway through One Piece. So I don't know. But I don't remember Luffy flying this Jolly Roger. Death to America, death to Israel, curse to the Jews. That was not on his Jolly Roger. But once again, there's
Happened
time.
while I was on stream. Damn. The curse of the Jar Juice stream. The Jar Juice live stream curse. The jar curse, some might say.
There's time for it to change. Apparently, there's a big tone change in the second half. You know what? I'm more interested in than sewing out that he's seen an episode of One Piece. The fact that he admitted to spending time with fucking Chinese vessel hostages that were kidnapped by the Houthis. That would warrant a good follow-up question. But it's unabashed pro-terrorist propaganda that he's chosen, and that is what we're witnessing. This whole interview is frankly disgusting, in my opinion. It's shameful. Twitch should be ashamed. I don't know how he continues to
The
show.
jurors. Dude, that's so true. The jurors. What if like my stream is like Death Note and everyone every time I stream, some random person dies?
Terrorist propaganda. It is quite alarming, and I genuinely don't understand it. And that's not even the worst of it. We'll continue. This is from yesterday. Okay. He compared this kid to Anne Frank. Let's take a look. Is this from yesterday? Yeah, it's from yesterday. It's a conversation with
Shout out to Brandon's girlfriend. Let's go.
A
who I
teenager.
denounced, by the way, in the strongest terms. The man says insanely terrible things, accusing Arabs and Muslims of coming from an inferior culture. Is absolutely pathetic, and something that I deeply disagree and oppose. Okay. That being said, in this conversation, this is what Hassan told him about the cute Houthi pirate.
Yeah, the stream
From
Death
Yemen,
Note.
okay, who everyone called, myself included, called Tim Houthi Charlemagne or Chalamet.
Is that
Yeah, he was-
the One Piece one?
Yeah, exactly. Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him. Which
Oh,
means,
he was 19. He's only 19. He's barely 19. He's freshly 19, guys. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
means that for most of his life he has withstood, right? But he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay.
No, dude. Oh my god. If Anne Frank like went inside a tank and started blowing up Nazis, I guess you could say that that would be somewhat similar. This guy's literally taking part in like killings, right? He's taking part in like terrorist attacks and he's clearly violent. Who cares if he's 19? Who fucking cares? Am I like missing something? What is he saying by him being Anne Frank? Like he's hiding in the cupboards, he's hiding in the floorboards.
And Frank, in real time.
Once again,
He's just so scared. He's just so scared of the Zionists who are trying to kill him all the time.
comparison insidious for a few reasons. First of all, I don't remember this page from Anne Frank's journal.
Yeah,
Again,
Anne
John-
Frank was like a little innocent child who was forced to live out the rest of her life in the attic to hide from people who were trying to kill her. She didn't hurt a fly. This guy's like taking part in like terrorist attacks.
Long time since I read it.
That is
I
a
don't
huge
recall
difference.
This picture of saying, we will spike all Nazis through all Germans through the asshole and mouth and wish them a gruesome
Yeah,
death.
he's hiding on boats. Yeah. Wait, that would explain why he's not a Houthi, because he's just hiding from the Houthis in the boats. That's why he's partying with the hostages. He's actually a hero because he's freeing all the hostages and giving them cot and partying with them.
There, actually.
He's throwing free warehouse raves in the container, like in the storage compartment of the ship. That's what he's doing. He's actually he's an urban legend.
Also, I find that conjuring of a Jewish victim of Nazi Holocaust
DJ Luffy
is a intentional play to further blur the lines of anti-Semitism and to try to take away from try to exploit the suffering that happened on the Holocaust. Once again, not related to Israel at all. To somehow this Houthi kid. He's cheapening what happened to Anne Frank, frankly.
These people always like also compare every current like event or whatever to like the Holocaust, which is crazy.
Kid, I'm sure
They're acting like an entire state like fighting back and in some cases instigating, more violence against their own people is like identical to like a systematic like genocide. That is insane.
grew up in terrible conditions. There's no doubt Yemen is in a terrible state. However, we don't as society, as a species, while we can appreciate where people came from and why they turned out the way, it will never excuse violent, hateful behavior, right? We all understand that. We all know that. Anne Frank was an innocent girl who was, whole family, including her, except her dad, was murdered by the Nazis. And once again, as I say this, I know people are thinking, oh, well, what Israel's doing to Gaza right now? Once again, I remind you, people who are trying to convince me and others that Zionism has nothing to do with Israel or nothing to do with Judaism, I'll remind you to take a step back and wonder, why is it you're thinking that? Because the Nazi Holocaust has nothing to do with Israel. It has to do with Judaism. So why am I being told not to care about this? Because of what's happening in
That's
Gaza.
true. That's actually a
Make it
pretty
make sense.
good point.
Please, I don't get it. Yep, I found this honestly,
So yeah, in that way, they are sort of equating Judaism and Zionism, because they're pointing to the Holocaust to appeal to like the Zionists, right? Saying, "Oh, your people got killed in this way, so how can you not see that this is happening?" That is essentially equating Judaism and Zionism, right?
disgusting. It's vile. and frankly, he should be ashamed. He should be. And frankly, again, Twitch continues to allow him to spread terrorist propaganda with impunity, without even seemingly a warning. Here he is showing 2 weeks ago. This is once again recent. Shows Houthi terrorist propaganda video. The kind of stuff that kind of reminds me of like
Oh, this is good. These are good clips.
Al Qaeda and ISIS.
I think we watched this on stream last stream, but it's been a while.
Propaganda videos that they would put out. That's just like a, well, I'll show it. Here's Hassan. And once again, if he's commenting on it, if he's critiquing it, that's one thing. But he presents it and he walks out of the room. He presents it with zero critical analysis, just a full-on endorsement of this terrorist organization.
Well,
right?
okay, him walking out of the room and letting it play is not the endorsement. The endorsement was him after watching, I think his name's Nick, watch this and his reaction being like, "What the fuck are you showing me?" Hassan justified it, saying, "Oh, this is awesome. It kind of slaps." And then he went a step further and said, "To them, it's an act of resistance to them, you know, this is cool because what they're describing is an act of resistance against the Zionists. That's the problem. It's not him walking out of the room.
Right here on Twitch. Now, I don't know if you remember, but basically this is what caused the apocalypse on YouTube, is that ads were
Fisherman, you're so okay. It's been like a year since October 7th when Ethan and Hassan had their big falling out, because they had a whole show together, and they've had a huge falling out, and Ethan has been sort of taking pot shots at Hassan for the past year because Hassan's community has treated Ethan horribly, and they continue to like smear him as this like insane Zionist shill, and yeah. It's been a long unfurling story, I guess you could say.
showing up next to ISIS videos. And here's Hassan, their darling creator, who has tons of ads running on his channel, showing to his audience, who is willing to receive everything he's saying without much critical thought. No offense, but at least to the ones that were in the...
Yeah, the left eat their own. Yeah, definitely. Well, especially in the case of someone who's like super far left, like Hassan. Like, so this all started because Ethan was trying so hard to pander to like far left progressives. And then he teamed up with Hassan, not realizing how radical Hassan is. And so now it's, you know, it's just become this whole thing where they're just eating each other alive and like they hate each other now. Yeah. Hassan hates like every other like left-leaning commentator as well. Like he hates Destiny, he hates Vosh, he hates H3. He doesn't get along with anyone. They literally all hate each other. It's crazy. Well, actually, I don't think that Ethan and Destiny hate each other.
The subreddit, calling you a liar.
They weren't beefing until now. Yeah, okay, so they were beefing, to be fair, yeah. They started beefing like a year ago, and then they sort of just they split off, they stopped doing the show together, and then just recently it started picking up again, as Ethan has been posting on Instagram and being outspoken about the type of things that people are saying about him from Hassan's community, and how it's fully endorsed and signed off on in Hassan's community. Yeah.
That Houthis are awesome.
Well, also, even in the beginning of this stream, Brandon, he said, like, I would still be willing to be friends with Hassan. I still respect Hassan as a person. And I'm like, why do you respect Hassan as a person? He's like the least respectable human being on the planet. He's like one of the worst people in the world.
Yeah, like we took that fucking
2 weeks
Saudi
ago.
deal.
You did?
Oh yeah, me and XTC both.
Oh, no, damn.
Yeah, this is the clip.
I'm sorry. I need
Here
the
we
money.
go.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way.
Zach,
Just so you know, these fucking...
sorry, the sound pack is falling off here.
It's falling off.
I'll just put it on the table.
Okay.
Actually, it's fine.
This guy had pretty based comments about his experience on Hassan's stream after the stream, which we might get into in a minute here. We'll see what he says.
Sure it doesn't fall. Should I put it on the ground?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Here, let's continue.
fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I need the money.
Jesus, that's so fucking loud.
Let
Make
me
it a
read the
major
words.
world war. We do not care. We
Once
do not
again,
care.
I feel that we should throw up. We disavow this video, Nate, because on YouTube, they actually don't allow terrorist propaganda videos to play. And I want to make it very clear
Oops.
that I actually do not condone this. I think these guys are terrorists, and they're dangerous, and this is dangerous propaganda, and I'm watching it for critical reasons. Is it up, Nate?
Yeah, I'm right there with Ethan.
Yeah, throw that up when I watch this, because frankly, I'm risking my ass watching this clip. Yeah. Fuck
Should I
Houthis.
cover it? I guess I'll cover it. We'll just do that just in case. Wait. Here. How can we do this? Here's what I'll do. We need to see his face cam anyways.
So he introduces it as a fun Houthi.
Didn't H3 say that he wanted Frogan thrown out of the community and Hassan defended her? I'm not sure. All I know is that Frogan was saying crazy stuff about Ethan, calling him like an anti-Muslim, like he hates Arabs, like making all these crazy claims about him just because he wasn't like ridiculously pro-Palestine as severe as she was. Even though Ethan himself is like pro-Palestine, it wasn't enough for her. She had to say he hates Arabs and make all these crazy claims. But yeah, maybe he did say that.
The musical.
A relationship degradation breakdown video is needed. That would be good. Yeah, that'd be pretty good content. This would be a good time to do it too, right after this stream.
Musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Cam's not even money.
We do not care. We do not care. Make it a major world war.
So Ethan is reading what the song lyrics are saying in this propaganda video.
Good messaging. Shooting, their heart longs for master rifles and assault rifles. Very good, very cool. He gets up and leaves his poor friend there in the
I wish you
trenches.
could see Nick's face better in this, but he makes some he's like clearly disturbed by this video in this clip. It's really funny.
Taking Houthi terrorism propaganda to the dome. And I've seen this clip, man. This poor guy has no idea what's going on. He's obviously not very savvy with politics. And this man just left him fucking like George Bush when he heard 9/11 happen. You know what I mean? By God, I forbid myself this life. Ask your excellence. They're showing what's his name? MB, the king, the new guy of Saudi Arabia, the crown prince. Apparently, they want to kill him. There was a war there,
Jesus.
and they want to kill him, so that's why they're showing him. MBS, yeah. Yeah, he's just talking about their military campaigns.
So
This poor
they
guy-
said in that caption that they took control of a certain area using assault rifles. So they're bragging about actual like terrorist actions that they've taken in the real world. And this is what Hasan is playing for Nick here. And you can see on his face, he's like, he doesn't know what to make of this. He's uncomfortable. He's like, what the fuck is this? Why are you
I'm
showing me
this at
this?
higher quality. See, this poor fucking guy is like, what the hell is happening right now? Yeah. By the way, notice the age of these kids dancing with guns and rifles. And how old would you say these kids are here?
They're like 11 or
15.
12.
Just saying. The Houthis have child soldiers. They recruit them. They encourage them as part of their army. And he, Turbo's lifespan. Well, he's not even
It's just
fighting child
drill
soldiers,
rap
he's
shit. Yeah, true. I think Hasan actually says that. It's just like a Good Kid, Mad City or something.
Hasan comes back from the bathroom. We've now digested a minute and 10 seconds of unmitigated terrorist propaganda. Here they are holding up the signs, as I pointed out. It says death to Israel, curse upon the Jews, death to America.
Jesus.
Right there on display.
So Hasan is showing this. He's showing this. He's not ashamed of this part at all, apparently. He's like, oh, sorry, that's just their flag. I can't do anything about it. I don't endorse it, but here it is.
What do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like bad example, Chris Brown dancing. You know?
No. They do
What is
they do
this?
musicals. They're very musical people.
Are
No,
you being serious?
Dog, what do you look?
This guy doesn't even know if Hasan is joking or not. He can't tell if this is like a prank.
You think I made
This
this?
isn't I know they're singing, but I'm seeing this guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
No, it is. They do musicals about like their fucking like their actions all the time.
Their actions. Did you notice how he hesitated on the word actions? What was he gonna say? Their actions. Yeah, they do musicals about their real life actions all the time. Isn't that so awesome?
Yeah, that's called terrorist propaganda. They do it to package it in a nice way to appeal to a broader audience. And Hasan is doing exactly their bidding, more than they could have ever dreamed of, by broadcasting this directly into the main line of Twitch.
Yeah.
And they love walking over.
By the way, his chat too. Everyone is just Kek W, Omega lol. This is so funny.
walking over like the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. They will always like march on it. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that's so awesome and funny how they march over the American and Israeli flags. That's so awesome,
Stormed out,
Hasan.
dude.
Great.
Military, Saudi military style. Again, they're just talking about their military exploits at this point.
Talking about how they're holding a border, how they're holding the northern border like lions. We do not care about the heavy missiles.
They do not care about the heavy missiles. Like they will literally take the war to them no matter what.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. And once again, sharing very supportive, flowery, supportive language about the Houthis, who, as I've shown, is a disgusting video.
Like he obviously thinks they're cool, right? Like how is that crazy to assume based on his behavior that Hasan thinks this is awesome and cool and like and they're brave?
Terrorist organization.
It's an act of for them it's an act of resistance. You know what I mean?
There it is. For them, it's an act of resistance. That somehow justifies their actions because they're just victims and all they're doing is resisting. They're them being victimized. That's all they're doing is they're just fighting back.
Sure.
This poor guy, man. He did not sign up for this.
He's in OTK. And
I was wondering who he is. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, Nick Pollum.
Is he a WoW player?
Back in the days, yeah.
What does he do?
Yeah, so
He's a gamer.
originally a WoW player.
I don't know anything about him, but I thought he was very funny and likable in these clips.
Yeah, he's great. He's a funny guy.
Oh my god.
He wasn't mean to Hasan, by the way, or like judgy. He was just like, what the fuck is happening? So he handled himself pretty well.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah. I mean, what else
Oh,
do you
man.
do in that situation though? You're clearly being shown like propaganda, right? What are you supposed to do if the guy in the stream, the guy who you're streaming with, who's showing you this is like, yeah, this is pretty awesome, dude. Like you're supposed to go, what the fuck are you on? Like, what are you talking about? Why is this awesome? Because then Hasan will just proceed to, go on a monologue about why it's cool and awesome, without actually admitting it himself.
You know what? I also took a McDonald's sponsor and I drink Starbucks.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
For the record, Hasan doesn't care about the boycotts at all. Somebody came up to him when he went to Australia to do IRL streaming with a can of, or like telling him, "Oh, you need to stop drinking Diet Coke on stream. There's a boycott." And he was just kind of like, "What the fuck?" He was like, all right." It's like freaky ass fan. Maybe we could find the clip later. It's really funny.
Good job.
So there it is. Yeah, that right there.
All right, we're gonna move this back. Oh, edit, redo. There we go.
Think similar to that. Cause the Apocalypse on YouTube.
It's giving suburban kid obsessed with hood life. That's so true. It kind of is like that.
Twitch, however,
Hasan, if this is so awesome, why don't you go do some on the ground journalism there? I mean, everyone wants you to. It would be great. I mean, if you could see firsthand, what these people were really like, and show the world how cool and awesome they are. That would just be so great for the cause. Yeah, you really owned him about Diet Coke. Yeah. Yeah, no, like he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck about the Diet Coke. For the record, I don't care either at all. I don't care. I'm not pro one side or the other of this conflict. I don't give a shit.
I think it's officially sanctioned by the CEO. I say that because he said Hassan's his favorite streamer. He really filmed forcing the Twitch staff to wish him happy birthday. He seems, by all accounts, to be a big Hasan supporter. And God bless him. He's the CEO. It's his ship to steer. Interesting choice, though. Now, when I saw this interview, I thought surely this is too far. Like something's got to give. He'll maybe get at least like suspended for a day or two, just so that just to make a point. Like, hey, let's chill out on the.
Ethan's coming back to reality a little bit. Yeah, I would like to think that too. I really hope he is. I think that seeing how extreme like the left can get has probably like made him snap to his senses a little bit, because he really was going full blown like lefty pandering for like a long time.
Nothing.
Thank you, Brandon. Shout out, Brandon. We'll watch that right now. It's pretty funny. This is awesome.
Whoa. Yo, what? That looks awesome.
Holy shit.
Is that octopus or squid?
Okay, I definitely need a bite of that.
Oh my god, you got the shirt
He
and
has the
everything.
merch.
Yeah, get a load of this fan, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, let's do it. I love your pants. We've been trying to make our way, but someone had to get fucking squid.
I'm gonna try it out.
Someone had to stop us dead in our...
secret Zionist?
Oh, very outwardly. Yeah, no, no.
Dude, like what type of person comes up to you in real life and goes, "Oh, are you a secret Zionist?" Like, how is this what you're thinking about all the time? You're not gonna go up to Hasan and be like, "I love your videos. I love your streams, man. Keep it up." Like, you're gonna be like, "Is your friend a..." I know she's joking, but like, is your friend a Zionist?
It's nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you, Laura. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take a photo.
I want a photo with you too, Alexa.
Yay! Thank you. Oh, how do I?
You got this. I got it.
Was she doing gang signs right now?
Oh, is that how you...
Oh, sick. I haven't seen that one.
That's
That's
sick.
Oh my god. Is this a P for Palestine?
2, 1.
She's doing the Palestinian gang sign, dude. She's doing the Houthi. She's doing a Houthi dog whistle right now, guys.
All right, get in there.
No, I've been flexing my face.
3, 2, 1. Hell yeah.
Thank you. What do you think?
Go.
I'm trying to go to the Palestinian protest. Oh, it's over?
Well, they're still marching. We're about to pray, and then
Oh shit.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead. So she walks off. They're just talking about Palestine,
Yeah,
whatever.
of course. Oh yeah. Thanks so much.
I'm sorry, I forgot
really
to
lovely.
say you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
It's boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff, please.
Oh my god, dude. You're preaching pro-Palestine, but there's a boycott on Coke Zero. No, stop drinking it.
Stream.
Look at how aggressive she is, too. Like, this is so weird. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop drinking Diet Coke on stream.
I'll put in a glass.
I'll put in a glass. This is like honestly kind of base from him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep drinking it. Fuck you. I guess I'll put in a glass to make you happy or something. Like literal nutcase. This is his audience. This is the type of people that he panders to, by the way.
No soda, son.
I didn't know it was like that. I'm trying to stop it.
It's so awkward too. He's like, I didn't know it was like that, man. I mean, come on, chill out a little bit, bitch.
You hosted him in his home, and I watched him on stream drink Coke.
Yeah,
It's
but
your house. You get to say no.
Yeah, you should have smacked
You
it
get
out
to
of
say
my
this is a BDS zone.
You're right. Well, we
I actually haven't seen the full like 3-minute clip. This is so funny.
You have to go out to get them. Yeah.
Like he's like uncomfortable. He's like, all right, can you please leave now?
Well, Shaitan and Shaitan's agent, go to the protest.
Okay, have a
And
good
stop
one.
drinking Coke.
And stop drinking Coke. She says it like 4 times, dude. That is insane. He's like, Jesus, what a freak.
Their continued, basically, silent support of him
No, it is all Coke, but I'm just exaggerating, you know.
has emboldened him, in my opinion,
He's doing Coke on stream. That's so true.
to get even more reckless and ridiculous with his platform. We'll move on to the next part. Moving on to this, he shows him another Houthi terrorist propaganda video.
Shout out to Brandon in chat for sharing that clip. Oh, I'll plug the Discord too if you guys want to
Hijacking.
send stuff for me to look at. This is my Discord. Let's make a link real quick.
Should I close my doc? He shows him a video of when they board this vessel via helicopter and kidnap all these workers from different countries unrelated to the conflict in Israel. The Galaxy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it would be this one right here. Thank you for waiting patiently.
We have the here it is.
How should I pull this up? Should I download it? Here, let me just download it. Sorry, this was kind of put together the best I could with what time I had. Here it is, downloading. So yeah, here he is presenting this entire video once again with zero critical commentary. In fact, the opposite. Blatant encouragement and enjoyment.
We have the here it is.
Is Rust?
Bro, they fucking look at this. They got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter, the Yemen flag. They fucking overtake. They start overtaking the ship, and they're like, "Guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you're an Israeli, if you're owned."
Yemen's Houthis share footage of militants hijacking Galaxy leader ship. Look at his face. Wait, you guys can't see his face. Hold on. Let's move the overlay again. Look at him. He's like, what the fuck is this? Is this okay to watch? Jesus Christ.
By an Israeli corporation, or if you are actually sending ships to the Israeli.
This is the look of a man who's like, holy shit, this guy is nuts.
It's not a lot. It's the other one that is now bankrupt.
It's a lot, but is suffering.
What was the other port? Haifa, right? Is it Haifa? Is Haifa the bankrupt one? Anyway, there's a lot of information. I can't recall all of it. But they go, if you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli citizen.
Look at his like body language. He's like, he's got his hands crossed. He's like slouched over, and he's like, he's clearly very uncomfortable.
If you're owned by
as like anyone would be in this situation.
Corporation, we're gonna take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're gonna enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza. Because they say it. They're like, listen.
The problem so far, of course,
we're not a fan of you.
Is that
a pile of zins? Wait, dude, Hasan is a zinner? I guess he quit the gum and he started doing zins. Kind of based.
Okay.
He's either wrong or intentionally lying, although he's pretty savvy, so I have a hard time concluding anything but that he's intentionally lying. Because, of course, a huge portion of the ships that they've attacked commandeered.
What's your take on the situation? I mean, I don't have any take on like Israel-Palestine. I think that Ethan has been wronged greatly by Hasan's community in general over the past year. And I think that he's been very mischaracterized to the point almost to where I would consider it like slander. Like he's been smeared as like this insanely pro-Zionist guy. And he's actually not like that at all. In fact, Ethan is pretty pro-Palestine. He just, you know, he even will agree that the Palestinians are being genocided. But he just doesn't fully agree with a one-state solution. He doesn't agree that Israel should stop existing. He still wants Israel to exist, and he still thinks that terrorist attacks and things like that are bad. So that's pretty much my take. I'm on board with Ethan on this one. I don't think Ethan is right about everything all the time. Like I think I said at the beginning of this stream, you know, I don't think that Hasan is anti-Semitic. Ethan isn't claiming that, but I wasn't sure what direction Ethan was going to take. I don't think that every time that people are anti-Zionist, that they're anti-Semitists or anti-Semites. But yeah, I think that, you know, maybe it has opened the door in some ways, like some of the pro-Palestine movement has encouraged anti-Semitism to an extent, or at least let people have an easy out when they wouldn't have been able to before. I guess I'll say that.
Nothing to do with Israel. And also say Israeli imports are slightly affected, but
But the one thing Ethan has convinced me of is that some people are making the other people are the ones who are correlating Zionism and Judaism, which is what I had a hard time believing at the start of the stream. But he brought up that a lot of people will bring up to Jewish people or to people who support Israel's existence or whatever, that, oh, well, you don't fully support Palestine to the extent we do. What about, you know, the Holocaust, which the Holocaust was against Jewish people. So I felt like that was a pretty good point that Ethan brought up. So people are conflating the two things.
West Africa and poor
you got
countries like
Zins
that
for the first time today? Hell yeah. You got to get the chill flavor. The chill is my favorite.
are the ones being hardest hit by this terrorism, raising the cost of foods on the poorest countries that need it the most, and limiting their access to. But the problem here is, of course, that he's just straight up lying. They don't just target Israeli ships; they're attacking everybody, and that's called terrorism. And apparently, as long as you put a Palestinian flag in your terrorist propaganda video and say you're doing it on behalf of them, you get a pass. In fact, the Palestinian cause is an important cause, one that I support. As I've said, I've donated, I support. I desperately want the war to end, and I'm heartbroken by all the tragedy I see there. But certainly, I don't see how this is helping anybody.
Yeah.
And of course, he's lying. He's doing Houthi propaganda.
This is the thing. You have to be in the mindset, no matter what political cause you support, that any type of political violence and extremism is not okay. No matter who it's against, no matter how much you hate the people that it's against, it's not okay. We've collectively decided as a society that that's not acceptable anymore. And people, you know, think that they've learned that lesson, but then there's a new public enemy number one. In this case, it's Israel. And you get people like Hasan who are encouraging indirectly like terrorism, which is insane. You shouldn't be okay with it under any circumstances, no matter who it is. If it's against people you like or people you hate, it doesn't matter
who they are.
They're called Nordic Spirit in Ireland, and they're way stronger. Yeah, you should get these. I don't know how many milligrams the Nordic Spirit are, but the On pouches, they go up to 8, I think, in most stores.
Like, no, we care about the Palestinians. We don't want you bombing them. So we're going to fucking take action. And we're going to try to punish you economically to the best of our ability. And by God, they started doing that, and they were doing it real well. So they started taking over these ships. They started
How do the Palestinians escape their captors? I don't fucking know. But yeah, I mean, I've said it a few times in this stream, I'm not the most educated on this whole conflict. I know probably less than Ethan or Hasan. But yeah, that's just like, from what I know so far, that's pretty much my take. I don't know anything about like what the solution is. The Middle East seems like every time there's like a new Middle Eastern conflict, it seems so hopeless because it feels like there's so many conflicts there all the time. And it feels like it's never going to end, which is just really, you know, it's just sad. And it's like, it feels like there's no solution. Gotta migrate. Migration has been historically essential. Yeah, migration. Yeah, that I could see that being a good thing. Ethan is a thinker, but he's also a social climber. I think he's internally conflicted often. Yeah, I would say especially in the past, he has social climbed a little bit. But I think that did really slow down in the past year. Maybe I'm just a little biased because I don't like Hasan, and I feel like Ethan has had better takes lately, but I don't know. He's pretty much as famous as you can get on YouTube. He's like a step down from like I don't know is he a step down from Mr. Beast? He's smaller than like the Paul brothers and stuff, but I feel like there's not much room for him to social climb anymore. Like Mr. Beast would know who he is. Mr. Beast would probably collaborate with him. And that's like as famous as I could imagine someone is. He's like widely known.
Are there people on this helicopter?
Yeah, it is depressing. It is depressing.
Of course there are people on this helicopter. What do you think, it's a fucking drone?
Kind of, from this angle.
No, there are people on this helicopter.
Should I migrate to the USA? I don't know. If you like it here, then yeah.
Rude, Sean, it does kind of look like a drone. just saying. It was a reasonable question.
Yeah, they're flexing.
Here they are.
I hate when Ethan talks about this stuff and his staff are all dead silent. Everyone's so afraid to disagree with him. Yeah, and that's like a problem that I noticed a little bit in the past. Even when Ethan would have like takes that I would disagree with sometimes, I feel like his staff didn't want to like argue with him. To be fair though, I think that's just like a pretty common human thing. Like in this case, he's the boss. They don't want to get on the boss's bad side. So I understand from like a human perspective why they don't necessarily want to argue with him, but yeah, it looks like it's just Dan, right?
Hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand. This
Literally.
Or no, it's the other guy. We saw him earlier.
So
like, their
a
goal
fucking
is to-
CS:GO campaign. I feel like there's one of these maps for sure.
Modern Warfare, yeah.
Modern Warfare. Play.
and show it to the world. So like other companies that don't want to risk having this happen to their product, having this happen to their ships.
Yeah, so this is Hassan's justification is like, well, by sharing this video of a terrorist attack happening to ships that are trading with Israel, other companies will see this and think, I don't want my ship to get a terrorist attack, so maybe I'll stop trading with Israel. Yeah, that's the point of terrorism, is to achieve fear and cause an action so that they don't like fuck with the terrorist goals or whatever. That's the whole point. That doesn't make it any less of a terror. Like Hassan is literally justifying it. He's like, well, this isn't a terrorist attack. It's just an action that they're taking to achieve the goal of stopping trade routes. Yeah, and the action is a terrorist attack. That's
Literally,
fucking
like, okay, we're not gonna
crazy.
use the trade route anymore.
Mr. Beast social climbed off Ethan. Is that true?
Or all of a sudden, if you don't use the trade route, trade gets more expensive for the West. All of a sudden, if you can't use that
It's
trade
expensive
route,
for everybody.
the Israeli port
Once
is going to
again,
get banned.
a totally ridiculous reading of the situation. It doesn't just get expensive for the West. And the West can
Yo, my boss starts blasting off on lefty shit. I just say nothing. Yeah, there's in the States, like, well, you probably already realize this, but there's a lot of people who are like, just assume that you agree with them inherently every time you have a conversation. So they'll just go deep into like their politics. And it's like, if you don't agree with them, or like, even if they're on your same side and you agree with some of the things they're saying, you're not going to be like, well, that's too, you're not going to have like a debate with them. You're just going to be like, okay, yeah. Like, it's just like one of those awkward social things.
afford it. The West, you know what I mean? It's the poorer countries, the West African countries, that it gets expensive for, that it hurts them way more. And in fact, like I said, Israel imports are relatively fine.
Bankrupt. Israel is not going to be able to get the materials in time that they need for waging their war. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
But again, I just have to comment, just kind of almost as an aside, but getting people to leave Israel, like 80% of the people in Israel are citizens who were born there. They don't have anywhere to go. This is part of the fucking problem with this conversation that I have to explain to people. The Israelis cannot go back to Europe. There's literally nowhere else in the world for them to go. As I said, Elah's parents were born in Israel. So it's like, you know, the country's been there almost, you know, coming up 100 years. Like 80% of the people were born there. Okay, who's leaving? And I guarantee you the people in Israel would love to.
Mr. Beast was on a podcast, and Mr. Beast crossed the USA to eat a burger with Ethan for a video with Chris Tyson. Really? Wait, I gotta watch that.
To leave if they could. I'll tell you, I've known a lot of Israelis who are able to immigrate to America, and that's like the dream there. Trust me, you think they fucking want to be there? Most of those motherfuckers can't wait to get out of there if there's any chance. That's the truth. You know what I mean? Do we have the full?
Living in a war-torn area would just be like a horrible quality of life, in my opinion. Like living somewhere where like there's like impending, like you don't know if like this state that you're at war with is gonna attack your city, especially when it's like a small country like Israel. It's like it's not that big of a place. If there's a terrorist attack, it's a lot higher of a chance that it's gonna be your town than it would be like in the U.S. or whatever. It's just crazy.
I'm curious to finish because well, anyway, I'll just describe it. The rest of the video shows them going through the ship with their guns drawn and essentially hog tying these workers and taking
Jesus.
hostages. Once again, from a grouping of countries, none of them Israel, America, or even Europe, with the exception of Ukraine. Most of them Filipino. Those guys are like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? Thank you, Dan. Here it is. This is the video. And again, let's throw up the disavow because here.
No, yeah, no, absolutely. Everyone in that entire area must feel terrible. And there's like, even in Palestine, it's like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like oppose the like fucking the elected government? What are they called? Hamas? Are you gonna oppose Hamas and like become like some sort of like a martyr for anti-Hamas movement? Like it's just a fucked up situation all around. Everyone there is in a bad situation. And there's just like, there seems to not really be a solution, which is terrible.
when you show terrorist propaganda, generally results in an issue. I'm presenting critical commentary, and of course, this is the rest of the video.
Jesus, I can't show this. This is fucking crazy. What do we look at? Yeah. Here, I'll just do this thing again.
Yeah, they're just going through the ship, kidnapping people, taking the boat, yada yada. It's the whole thing. And so this is again the people that Hasan is uncritically hyping up as some kind of heroes, and totally. And by the way, everyone you saw in that video, by the way, who was being kidnapped, missing, unaccounted for.
My sources say Twitter and Reddit. Yeah, there is none. They're banned from all countries because of terrorism. I don't think so, Fisherman, but I'm just being extra careful. I don't want to get on the radar at all for anything.
Hey, that's part of the fun of being kidnapped by Houthis. Nobody knows.
My channel's tiny, so like I don't think anything will ever happen from something like that right now. But
where are the aid workers working in Yemen who are arbitrarily detained? Nobody knows. These are not good people. These are terrible people. These are religious zealots. These are violent, terrible people that are making the material conditions in Yemen, as far as I can tell, even worse in an already terrible situation. And Hasan is here running cover for them, whitewashing them, making them palatable to a general audience in the West. And all of this.
That's such a good way of putting it. He's making them palatable and whitewashing them for people in the West. He's justifying their actions, or at least softening the blow by justifying their actions, so that you can look at it and say, well, maybe I understand why they're doing this now, and it's for a good cause. That's like seems to be his goal, in my opinion.
Again, reminding you of their flag. It says death to Israel, curse upon the Jews. All of this contributes to a rising sense of anti-Semitism, of unsafeness.
No, I'm not. I need 1,000 subs, and I get enough watch time most months, so I'm not worried about the watch time. It's just I need to hit 1K.
Jews feel around the world, and this once again blurring the line of the phrase Zionist with Jew. So there is that. Let's see what else we got here. Catch back up to my spot. Deleted this part.
Yeah, I'll get donos. I'll get super chats and like memberships, I think. I was thinking about for once I hit 500, I'll set my memberships for like the cheapest possible option. That would be fun.
Our lovely terrorist, cute terrorist here.
Like 50-cent memberships. That would just be funny.
To embrace the meme. Now, I watched that interview with him. Even Hasan said in the fucking interview that he was surprised by how media trained he was. So why is everyone going to be like, oh, he said he's not a Houthi. He said he doesn't hate Jews. This man said in his interview he's surprised by how media trained he is. They know what they're doing. Propaganda is a big part of their arsenal. They're very good at it.
He literally, the dude looks like the Houthi dude looks like a TikToker. Like it's like they specifically chose a certain person to represent them to like make them look better in some way. Like, oh, this guy's just like he's just like a soft boy. Like he's just like he's just like an emo like Houthi. Like he's just so aesthetic and like cool.
But
no, guys, I'm not a Houthi. Okay, if they ask you if you're a Houthi, what do you say? No. If they ask you if you hate Jews, what do you say? No. That's pretty much, I feel like, what they did.
For some reason, when it comes to talking to this obvious terrorist, Hasan's like, hey, man, I'll just take him at face value. He's super media trained. He won't answer any of my questions, but I guess I believe him. Give me a fucking break. Here he is, quick to capitalize.
Can't set memberships that low, damn.
He said, I do not know who designed the picture, but if Hasan wants to join us in the operation of Israeli ships, we welcome you. Again, not zero
Oh
Israeli.
my God. This is crazy. I do not know who designed the picture. But if Hasan wants to join us in the operations of Israeli ships, we welcome you. Let's see what happens if you stream that, Hasan. Let's see. Maybe you should. Maybe you should. That would be very, I'd respect you a lot more as a journalist if you did that, Hasan.
Israeli ships, which is funny. Propaganda. Lies.
Yeah, super
Zero
chats too.
And here they are. The two amigos. Although in this case, they'd be not amigo. They'd be pirates. Thank you. Here's another one. He's loving it. Let's get this dude a Nobel Peace Prize, by golly. Fuck Israel, we are coming, ready for anything. And yes, just like Houthi, or just like Luffy. Houthi, Luffy, it does rhyme. maybe there is more resemblance. But yes, unfortunately, it's hard to pull all of his tweets, although I found enough of them clearly. But he was banned on all social media platforms. A lot of people tell you because he's being silenced, because the American government is what yada yada and yada yada, corporate businesses, whatever. I mean, he was posting death threats against.
What I'm curious about is what other interests do the Houthis have? Is it literally just about Palestine? Aren't they from Lebanon? Do those two countries like have like a relationship and they are like, or are they under one government? Or like what's the deal with that?
Posting death threats. So I think we can all agree that's probably a good thing there. So I don't know how many people still think this kid is awesome and cool, and let's keep hyping him up. He's the man. Hasan clearly believes that as early as yesterday. He compared, once again, a reminder, compared this kid to Anne Frank.
Why is he dressed in steampunk, dude? I don't know. Yeah, he should go.
Yes, Anne Frank.
Destiny did an Israel trip. He went, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Destiny went to Israel and Palestine. And he went around and like saw the entire thing and did streams and content about it.
Once again, important to say, has nothing to do with Israel.
HTHL is owned by Iran, and Iran don't like Israel. Okay, gotcha. Israel will come for all of them eventually. Yeah,
Think about how you do that in your brain, and you'll realize the problem. Anne Frank was in an attic with her family hiding from Nazis. Her entire family, including her, were killed.
Yeah, it is a propaganda machine, like the U.S. Army girls. Wait, what does that mean about the Houthis if they chose a boy? They chose a young 19-year-old attractive TikTok man to represent them. What could this mean, guys?
Bad. She wrote about like peace and philosophy and all. She was a lovely young girl that wrote about lovely, beautiful thoughts in her diary.
Yeah, so that's more on the ground journalism than Hasan has ever done in his entire life.
With like a very positive, hopeful outlook, and that's part of what is so striking about her diary that makes it such a time-held read. You know what I mean? This kid is a terrorist, and he's posting death threats on Twitter.
Yeah, his Twitter feed is just like Anne Frank's diary. That is such a funny fucking comparison. His Twitter feed, the Houthi pirate threatening people, is just like Anne Frank writing her diary. Oh my god.
And again,
to be clear, Hasan isn't making that argument. I'm just joking, but
it's not. It's Saudi Arabia that's doing the genocide on Yemen, right? That's the war. Israel's never invaded Yemen, so it's like it's almost like he's being like, oh, he's getting genocided. I don't know. It's all kind of a little nebulous. All the Gulf states were attacking Yemen, with U.S. support. Okay, of course we had something to do with that. But regardless, I don't know. If you want to compare a kid, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to split hairs here. So once again, yeah, when you say Zionist, I would love to know what is it you mean. Do you mean it like the Houthis? Mean it?
We got so much more of this to go. I don't even know if we're going to get to the other topics today. This is crazy.
Really talking about Western settler expansionism. This is a conversation that needs to happen. That's not happening. In fact, when a Jewish person like myself says that,
Hasan jerked horses. This is true and real. Fact checked by true American patriots.
The conversation needs to happen. I'm overwhelmed with comments telling me that because of what's happening in Gaza, we just don't have the bandwidth to care about that right now. Or, see what? All good. And I mean, listen, I don't even need a list. You guys have seen it. Okay, you've seen it. You know what happens. So let's see. There's a few more. There's one other topic here.
Is there really only one other topic?
I think this is a bonus meme.
Yeah, this podcast is pretty boring most of the time, but over here we're just Hasan A-logs, so anytime Hasan's getting shit on publicly, we're gonna watch the whole thing like degens. He's rants and doesn't get to anything good. Yeah, I find Ethan really funny. There's been some good segments, like his Vosh segment, his Vosh coverage was like really good, and funny. And what else did he do recently? He did the Mr. Beast, or no, he did the Logan Paul segment. That was pretty good. He's done a few good ones, but yeah, that's the problem with like the Leftovers show. I was never even a fan of. Obviously, I hate Hasan, but I couldn't watch it. It was so boring.
Related, but I think it's important. Actually, no, it's related. Fuck it. I'll say it's related. God damn it. Let me down.
Oh, he did a Bo Black segment recently, and as a drama-loving, drama slop consumer that eats up every drop of drama possible, that was a good segment.
This is worth it. Stand by. Download blocked?
All right, come on.
Why? Because I don't know what the fuck's... Good. It's in the...
Hello?
Being shot. Commemorative yarmulke.
Wow. Wait, is this it? Was that it?
was
As
probably
you
the
can see,
funniest aspect.
beautiful original art by very talented
This is
artists,
actually
clearly.
awesome. I would buy this.
And it can be yours for $300. So.
Only 300.
Dude, that's a collector's item.
Yeah, man. People are lining up to get this yarmulke. Can you imagine going up to synagogue with the shit on your head?
Showed up to Shabbat dinner wearing this.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh man.
There you go. See, it was worth it.
Oh.
Thank you.
Dude, every Jewish family that I know, they have like a big basket full of yarmulkes. If you've ever like been to like Hanukkah to celebrate with Jewish people, they hand you a basket of yarmulkes and you get to pick one, and it's always so fun. You always find like all these like weird ones that are like really fun to wear.
You go for Yom Kippur service wearing that.
It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. So, Doc 13. Okay, thank you. Doc 13. There's one more post here before we move on. When I started posting about this stuff, I always deal with this. So, again, this is part of why I just need to talk about
So
it.
this is the other Hassan. This is Hassan Kadir, which we looked at one of his tweets earlier. I don't really know who this guy is, other than he's the guy who made the "these 4 people should kill themselves" tweet, which involved like Ethan, Destiny, the guy that we were talking about earlier, the journalist guy, and who else? There's one other guy I'm forgetting.
I don't like when I talk about Hassan. Well, I appreciate there's a lot of crossover, and I'm grateful to those of you who are able to watch us both. It's impossible for me to ignore that the majority of these people coming from are people coming from his community. Something his and his audience refused to reckon with. Hassan's whitewashing of that Houthi kid, says he wants to spare all Zionists to death, was frankly disgusting. I don't give a fuck that he's seen an episode of One Piece. I'd like to know why he's hanging out with boat-captain Chinese cargo vessels.
Yeah, so there is a lot of this hate coming from Hassan's community to Ethan, which Hassan knows is happening, and he is actively encouraging it by the rhetoric that he spreads. And this is one of the problems with Hassan's coverage, is he spreads this really, really radical like rhetoric about almost every topic, demonizes his enemies, makes them seem like horrible people, and then his fans go after them. Like and to be fair to Hassan, he has said in the past, about a year ago, like, guys, don't go after Ethan, don't do this. Ethan is not anti-Palestine by any means. He's on our side. You guys need to chill out and like respect him more. But this is just the side effect of this type of like insane rhetoric against this person, is that you're going to get all of these people who have demonized all of these enemies of Hassan's stream to go after them.
As more info has come out about this kid being a terrorist affiliated and being anti-Semitic, lots more. There's a lot more examples. Obviously, I didn't pull all of them, but I think I pulled enough. Hassan has refused to disavow him. In fact, the opposite. He continues to prop him up as a trustworthy, reliable, good guy to look up to and to consume media and messaging from. The reason I brought this up...
Has Hassan posted this guy before? I'm confused why this guy's famous. Is he literally just like a Hassan orbiter?
On Twitter. And I suspected he must be a Hassan fan, but I didn't know. But then, so Comrade Casey, Hassan fan, the guy who did the initial tweet, Hassan Kader. This is chat from Hassan's Discord. They're all part of this community. I mean, again, just to emphasize, I know Hassan has tried to get them to back off. I know that we're not responsible for everything we do. Our audience does. But for some reason...
No, I don't think that anyone is responsible for what their audience does. But like, you can't deny that a side effect of spreading extreme rhetoric is that your audience is going to demonize those people, right? Like, that's just like what happens.
I feel that when our audience goes too far, I'm pretty quick to call them out and to try to stem bad stuff.
Well, there you go. And that's the solution, is you're always going to have crazy people, but you can sort of mitigate it in a way by like reminding people to be down to earth and treat other people as human beings. Like, that's as much as you can do. If I make a video attacking Hassan and somebody watches that and goes and like DMs Hassan death threats, they're fucking crazy. And I made a disclaimer in the video saying, don't talk to or engage with or harass this person in any way. But at that point, there's nothing you can do about it.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. That being said, there's, for whatever reason, I find a lot of anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism.
Majority of people can't even think if the algorithm pushes you hard enough, you will get an audience and they will buy whatever you feed them. Yeah. I feel like a really important thing for like every content creator to drill in to their audience is like, I am not the authority on everything. I'm going to have takes and you should disagree with me sometimes. You shouldn't get all your news from me. You shouldn't get your opinions from me. You shouldn't copy me. You should think critically about what I'm talking about and decide for yourself what your own opinion is. But with Hassan, it's like he almost wants people to have the exact same takes as him. He wants his exact ideology to be the only acceptable thing. And that's why he drills it in so hardcore every single day that he's right and everyone else is wrong. And his fans eat it up.
Weird, obsessive fucking harassment is pretty much 80% Hasan fans. That's just the empirical fact of the matter.
Can't say that, then they won't watch.
I know that, yeah, Hasan
so
does
true.
rebuke the people who say mean things about me in chat. So obviously, not a personal attack, but certainly there's something in the water. Okay, you know what I mean. All right, so moving on to the final part, which is short, is Hasan denying rapes on October 7th. Popular talking point, something that I've seen, supported by pretty much the most random, bigots on Twitter to like the most mainstream commentary people. Everybody is somehow caught on or agreed. Once again, just like the Houthi spike tweet when everyone rushed in to tell me I'm fake and I'm like a piece of shit and I hate Arabs, are the same people denying the October 7th rapes. And the reason I say that, before I even watch these clips, is like, okay, the UN is often cited.
Sam Hyde had a good riff about that.
Pro-Palestinian activists and all the rebuke.
Dude, we gotta watch the Sam Hyde Israel Palestine short. That's a good short.
Of Israel. Well, here is a UN report: sexual violence and conflict. Office of the Special Representation of the Secretary General. They did a mission report on October 7th. Sexual violence. And I'll go down. I'll spare you guys this long document and read the conclusion, which is succinct and to the point. Conclusion. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple and independent sources at the different locations, there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape, gang rape, during the 7th of October attacks, credible circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation.
So this is from the UN, by the way.
Sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment was also gathered. This is the UN. In the beginning, a lot of people weren't comfortable coming forward. As time's gone on, there's more and more firsthand accounts coming forward of women telling their story of watching it happen. And in my opinion, it's impossible to deny it. And the active attempt to is vile. It's frankly vile.
So what's really weird about the like October 7th rape denial thing is that these people like acknowledge that October 7th happened a lot of the time. Now, they may justify it in one way or another. Not everyone who's pro-Palestine justifies it or says that it's good, obviously. But specifically, the people who are saying that the rapes didn't happen it's weird because they acknowledge, oh, there was lots of crazy, insane violence, but there weren't any rapes. That's the Hamas wouldn't do that. Hamas would never do that. Which is like, if they're killing people, why would they not rape women too? Like, obviously that would happen, right?
And it's just painfully ironic, which this whole thing is, because I feel like the left really cares about racism. You know, they've built the whole platform on it over the past decade, 2 decades, but like all of a sudden, you know, they're nowhere to be found. They're accusing women, just because they're Israeli, of lying about being raped. There are women on record in interviews, in these reports, on record saying I was raped. You know, it's the problem too, by the way. Generally, if you're being raped by a bunch of terrorists during a terrorist attack, you're probably gonna be murdered as well. Most people raped were probably murdered.
Right.
But there's still firsthand accounts, and plenty of them, and they're being denied. And it's not so much like the
like they're literally calling them liars over when even more severe, horrible things happened that day, right? Like, why is it so hard to believe that that happened?
The anti-Semitism, because once again, I'm gonna do my best to separate it. These are Israelis, okay? But it's the disgusting hypocrisy. It's the cognitive dissonance. It's the like MAGA brain. I mean, this is left-wing MAGA. Believing, following dogma before facts, all the way to the fucking end of the game, okay? And Hasan, once again, contributing to this atmosphere of disgusting rape denial, which again, something that over the last 10 years, we've agreed is a terrible thing. We've all said, you know, believe victims, support women, but apparently when they're Israeli civilians, they're lying. Here he is laughing when Kamala mentions October 7 rapes. Let's see.
October 7, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival.
Objectively true.
Women were horribly raped.
Now, when she says women were horribly raped, you'll notice Hasan bows his head with a giggle. He's smart enough not to outright say they're lying, but he's signaling to his audience quite clearly, I'll say, this is this is not a dog.
Yeah, it's blatant. Like, he obviously doesn't believe it.
It's a dog shout that he doesn't believe them. And it's echoed in the chat. I mean, you can all see, and I'll show you guys, that the chat turns into a frenzy of calling her a Zionist and a liar. These are leftists. These are people who support women. Blows my fucking mind. There's no consistency. It's a total farce.
Raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel had...
What's funny about that, Hasan? You know, what do you think his audience is getting from that?
A rightly raped. As I said then, I say...
Like, did she really go there? Yeah, it happened, bro. Sorry. Let's go ahead and read the comments. Maybe I'm misinterpreting.
Today, Israel...
Let me zoom in so you can read this.
Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters.
And once again, I don't even think her statement, like, I think she's doing a pretty good job. She says they have a right to defend themselves, as all countries do.
Yeah, literally, Reese.
But how they defend themselves matters. That's true, right?
I can't believe that Hasan has been talking about this stuff for an entire year now. Like, how does it not get boring covering the same fucking conflict every day for an entire year? I get bored of things that I haven't even covered myself yet. I get bored of dramas that I haven't even talked about because I just watch coverage of them and I'm like, this is just boring. I don't care. How could you do that for a year straight?
We all agree. I think even a lot of people who are critical of Israel would say they had a right to defend themselves up to a point. But then it became, you know, this horrible humanitarian crisis with mass murder, right? And so at what point, where is that point, right? But once again, and in recent news, the president put out a warning to Israel saying that if they don't fix the humanitarian crisis happening in Gaza, that they're going to pull embargo. They're going to do embargo on arms. So, like, you know, she's not giving Israel a blank check by any means, you know. And so then they're going to turn on her and call her a Zionist because she said there's rapes on October 7th, which is just
yeah,
factual.
That's bizarre.
Far too many innocent Palestinians.
Come all you dipshit, stop lying. I hate that they always say that.
She's still lying about the rapes?
Is there a better way to...
Jesus.
Gross. Boo. Oh my God, with these fucking lies. We are so cooked. Again with this shit. Goddamn, stop repeating this fucking lie. We're still perpetuating this shit. Fuck you, Kamaga.
Yeah, I don't get his numbers. His analytics are undeniably insane. So Destiny brought up recently that he thinks that Hasan is view botting. But I'm not going to say if I agree or not with that. I don't know. I feel like I feel like you can figure out if someone's view botting pretty easily if you like look at their chat rate and look at the other analytics of their streams. So maybe we could look into that at some point. I'm not going to say definitively that he's view botting right now, but that's what Destiny said. I was kind of surprised that he made that claim because I feel like Destiny doesn't say things until he's like pretty confident of them, I feel like.
Ironically, this is MAGA behavior right here.
Destiny was the one who called out Boogie about lying about cancer, though, and he ended up being right about that, so who knows?
These women liars in the face of irrefutable evidence, in my opinion. Overwhelming evidence, let's say.
Also, I feel like this stream, it kind of comes across like I'm like sucking Destiny off, like I'm like a Destiny dick rider. I am not by any means. It's just that when it comes to Hasan stuff, Destiny's always in the right. He's like the biggest person who's like calling him out on his nonsense. So it's just really relevant to this specific thing. I don't really agree with Destiny on like a lot of stuff, but
God, this chat scroll is so weird. It goes so fast, but then when I click, it doesn't move. Come on now.
I feel like that would make sense. It would make sense in the sense that Hasan cares a lot about his view count and he's really insecure when his numbers dip. When people like make fun of him for losing viewers, he gets really butthurt about it. And he obviously like he talks about how his like viewers hate his stream and like do you guys remember when he did those streams in Australia and he made all those Discord messages complaining about it and crying about it, being like, man, nobody wants to watch this. I came all the way out here and like it's as if I'm doing a gaming stream on a Tuesday night. Nobody cares. And he was like crying about it unironically.
I mean, you guys get the...
He cares a lot. That's the point. He cares a ton about his numbers.
Chat logs. They're not pretty, and they never are. They're horrible, frankly. Fuck off. No proof. Me when I lie. Once again, these are probably... we support women. We believe women, people. Literally empty vessels of a human being.
There's so much hypocrisy in Hasan's community. It's crazy. They are entirely unprincipled. They have zero principles about anything. It's all about what Hasan says.
Define genocide. She literally didn't, by the way. She literally said the opposite, that like to a point, and then she's criticizes Israel. Making this shit up again. Kamala, stop. This is a lie.
That's
Pretty much every other
wild.
comment, fucking lies, you bitch. Black card revoked. I guess they have. I guess it's on
Black card revoked? Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Does that authority? I didn't know that. Weasley, little liar, dude. Son meme. So my point is that like he's signaling to the audience, and they're very much picking up what he's putting out. You know.
Yeah.
Once again,
obviously.
Without saying anything, look at the discourse happening. Look at the discourse happening. This is not good. This is not good. Holocaust Harris. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Sorry, the scrolling is just so bad, but you guys get the point, I think, by now. So that's just one. There's more. There's another one. Can't help but laugh. Ah, where the fuck's the other one? I feel like it got erased. There was another one of him telling, talking to chat, and he says, Hamas rapes, what rapes? Where did that go? We were just, I swear. That's so weird. Is it in my doc? Sorry, guys, give me a sec. Like I said, I can't.
All right, come on, Ethan. Get it together, man.
Where is it? I got it. Wait, no, that's not it. Oh, shit. Go ahead with the music, Zach. Don't leave me floundering here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. We love that. You know the video I'm talking about? Ay, ay, ay.
The front fell off.
The front fell off this part right here, excuse me.
Who is on first?
What? But didn't we just watch it?
Okay, come on.
Yeah, we just,
Wait,
I'm
what just
so confused.
happened?
We literally just watched it. Sorry, guys. Fucking
Come on. Okay, Jesus.
yeah, okay, so anyway.
Good
True.
point.
Good point.
What rapes did Hezbollah do? Bro, what rapes did fucking Hamas do? What are you talking about?
And I mean, there he kind of said it. He said, somebody brought up Hezbollah rapes, which again, I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard that. I don't know if that's a thing, if that's an accusation. I don't think I've even ever heard the Israeli government. But Hassan takes the prerogative to pivot into actually even Hamas didn't rape anybody.
What's really crazy to me too is Hassan will like make arguments that he doesn't even need to make. He did this with asmongold a little bit. Like asmongold in the conversation that they had the other day was saying like, well, I don't like that in under places with a Sharia law that people can't be LGBT, they can't be themselves, and they can't, express themselves freely. They're homophobic. And instead of Hassan making the easy argument of, well, that doesn't matter to me as much in a time of war because I think war is a more pressing matter, which he did eventually make this claim. But in this moment, he goes, well, actually, did you know that Israel are the homophobic ones? Like, why do you even, what? Why are you making that argument? That argument is so stupid. He's kind of doing the same thing here. Well, actually, he's done this before too about Israel. Well, actually, Israel raped women too at one point. It's like, yeah, that's all bad. That's all fucking bad. Obviously, it's all bad. Why do you need to like minimize it by like pivoting? So weird. But in this case, he explicitly denies that Hamas even raped anyone.
And there it is. Rape denial, calling women who were raped liars. Makes me wonder, what else are they willing to, what other close-held beliefs are they willing to throw in the dump in the pursuit of fulfilling their dogmatic vision of the world? Doesn't seem like a lot. We're coming up on the end here. Yeah, and one more time. Actually, no, we already did that. I'm going to read a few messages I got that I think were very important and good voices. 19 and 20. Let me read these over real fast. These are ones I shared. How did I get through? Okay, we got this, guys. We got this. I feel like that sometimes as a Jewish person. And again, with all this conflation between Zionism and
But Wayne's World.
Like, imagine being a Jewish student on one of these campuses that's just trying to mind their own business and has like a Star David necklace. They're hiding their necklaces, man. Jews do not feel safe because people don't know the fucking difference. And who qualifies somebody to make that distinction? Who has the authority among us to decide who's the good Jew and who's the bad Jew? You know what I mean? Is it the activists? Well, what do you mean by that? So this person is going to decide who's the good Jew and who's the bad Jew based on this nebulous statement that means 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people without clarifying what that means. I mean, it's bleeding right into anti-Semitism. It is. And the thing is that they're fully convinced themselves that they're not anti-Semitic. And that's why making this conversation is so fucking difficult, is because the Zionism excuse is perfect cover. It's perfect cover.
I don't think that like every like pro-Palestine or like anti-Zionist person is anti-Semitic, but I think with the point that Ethan is trying to make here is just that like you can't really tell sometimes, which I guess that could be a fair like point,
All right, let me read this comment.
He made a better point earlier, which I already went over, but yeah.
Almost done, I promise.
He's just reading letters from people.
We
What is
fall under
this?
the label of Zionists, and they see people wishing them death all the time, social media, in real life. I have a friend who lives in Silver Lake or somewhere.
So I think the biggest takeaway from this stream, we're not going to read his subreddit posts, but I just think the biggest takeaway from this stream is that I feel like he's proven at this point that Hasan is like pretty pro like terrorist. Like he's basically always justifying the actions of terrorists. He's having terrorists on his stream, denying that they're actually terrorists, minimizing their actions, and like making them out to be like these noble, heroes who are just sticking up for what's right. And like it's just incredibly fucked up, and it's unnecessary. It would be so easy for him to say, I denounce these like terrorist actions. These actions are never justified, no matter what the circumstances are, and there's other ways to go about this. But he just feels the need to be so extreme that he has to like justify this stuff. It's bizarre. Hasan is like the only person who does this. Like, what other huge commentators are like doing that to this extent? I mean, it's only people in Hasan's circle like Frogan who are doing the same things. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyways, that's our Hasan segment. Hasan Ethan segment. That was a crazy stream. He did a good job. Ethan did a pretty good job. Guys, Illumina is back. The Illumina. This is actually real Illumina, okay? Illumina HD. There's his handle right there. We had a really epic tweet from Illumina the other day. Buddies acting tough in traffic, lol. This is a great tweet. But it looks like this guy took all his tweets down. If you haven't caught on, Illumina deleted his account. This is not the real Illumina. He deleted his account and somebody else stole the handle and started posting funny stuff like that. I wish he didn't delete all his tweets because that would have been a really funny segment. But yeah. What is this? Huh? On Illumina? Yeah, I feel like it's too much background to give. If you guys go to my channel, I think my best video on Illumina, the Illumina allegations, is which one? This one right here. The craziest allegations I've ever seen. Illumina versus Stella. So check that out if you are interested. Wow, we got 2 new subs today. Thank you guys. W new subs. All right, what else we got going on here? We got Nick Fuentes talking about how Sam Hyde is funded by Jews and compromised. Let's take a look.
Look at her filmography.
So this account, I looked into it a little bit. This account mostly posts satire, but they did post an actual clip. And he does sort of make this claim in a way at the end of this, which is really funny.
And where do you think she gets her money? I think she gets her money from someone similar. Dave Rubin, Jack Murphy. It's literally every single time. It's diversity special. Another Jew, they're both connected to Teal. They're both in the, I'm not going to name their handles. I don't want to blow up anybody's spot. And who do they have there? Steve Saylor, our Jewish human biodiversity specialist. And Sam Hyde, hosted by the producer Hadrian Belov, a Jewish producer who tried to get me removed from documentaries in the past. And I like Sam Hyde, but Hadrian Belov is involved, and that's the connector.
This is like full schizo shit, dude. This is like unhinged. He's saying that Sam Hyde's producer is Jewish and is like doing like, he's like interfering with stuff. What the fuck is this claim? Is he trying to like say that Sam Hyde's like words are like being controlled by Jews? That is fucking crazy. If you know Sam Hyde at all, you know that's not fucking anywhere near the truth. Like Sam Hyde is like one of the most like free speech like comedians ever. He jokes about like wild shit all the time. And yeah, this guy's trying to make him out to be like I don't know, dude. He just that is like the craziest claim I've seen Nick Fuentes make ever. He's insane. Also, Nick Fuentes likes cat boys. And yeah, let's just leave it at that. He likes little cat boys. Nick Fuentes is a weird ass dude. You know, a lot of people think Nick Fuentes is like a fucking what's it called? Like a not a psyop, like a honeypot, huh? A glowy? Yeah, they think that Nick Fuentes is like a Fed who's like trying to like fish for all the like extremist people, which is also a really funny conspiracy theory. That side of the internet is just like control, like just completely like full of insane people. It's really fucking crazy. What else do we have here today? I was gonna go over the Just a Robot stuff, but it's kind of stale now. Should we watch the Chud Logic interview real quick?
No, listen to you. Listen
This
to
is
me.
53 minutes long. Goddamn. Yeah, you know what? This was a good stream for today. We could talk about the Asmon stuff. I don't know. Let me think for a minute. Do I want to do that today? I've been going for almost 3 hours, 2:35. All right. We'll do the Asmon segment, but I do need to take a bathroom break real quick. So let's watch one of my amazing slop videos. Let's see, what's a good one? We'll watch the Keffels one. That's a classic. You mean you inject estrogen cooked up in some depressed trans girl's bathtub directly into your cardoid every other day? I got 500 plus minors on HRT, not just 7. I wonder why you got kicked off of PayPal. You were just selling illegal drugs on the internet to minors.
Because I stand by supporting the DIY HRT directory.
This person is literally talking about like sexually charged shit and saying their age when they're underage. So Keffels has been coming up again recently with the Vosh lolly stuff, and Keffels jumped to Vosh's defense. So people are starting to bring up old things about Keffels. Mudahar was talking about the Catboy Ranch in this tweet, where he says, over 2 years ago, an infamous creator known as Keffels launched a viral campaign on the internet. As I research more about this event and her, I've come across disturbing revelations of her Catboy Ranch. Can't go too into detail, but it's an insane story and none of it is pleasant. I planned to cover this sooner, but in the last few weeks, I've had time to truly put towards projects, and this was on the top. If anyone wants to come forward with more information on the now deleted information, please contact me via DMs. For some reason, Keffels didn't anticipate that people were just going to start like digging up old stuff. And honestly, I didn't really see that coming either. Like, I thought that everyone sort of knew about the DIY HRT directory, the Catboy Ranch, and the Kiwi Farm stuff, but people are bringing it up like as if it's like brand new. So I just wanted to, since I know so much about all this shit, I wanted to make a stream doing a deep dive on it. So there was also this article that was posted. A transgender Twitch streamer is facing scrutiny once again after admitting to sponsoring a DIY hormone directory that was reportedly accessed by minors. It goes way beyond that, by the way. So Josh Moon retweeted Mudahar saying, just say that Kiwi Farms was right. And Keffels says, if the owner of Kiwi Farms is cheering you on, you need to reconsider your life choices. What? Why? Just because like something... I'm back. The takeaway from Ethan, whenever he talks about this, that we should feel more bad for Israel, I think he's just talking about like how people treat him over his like pretty reasonable takes about Israel-Palestine. Like he literally supports Palestine. He literally supports Palestine, and pro-Palestine people hate him and call him a Zionist. So I feel like him pointing this stuff out is perfectly valid. All right, so I guess we're just doing more Hasan Israel-Palestine stuff. This is gonna be epic. Let's see. Do we have the debate? Okay, so I had the Kiwi Farms window open here somewhere. Here it is. So this is what asmongold said. That got him into some controversy. So he had this whole stream, which was a debate with Hasan over pretty much like how he feels about how, you know, Palestine society, or I guess just like, yeah, like terrorist controlled areas being like homophobic and like not having like more liberal societies where people can't express themselves, and how he doesn't really feel bad for them in this case. So this was his quote that got him in a lot of trouble with people.
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way.
So I'm gonna give this like a pretty charitable interpretation because I don't think that he was trying to say the thing that people have characterized him as saying. People have pretty much characterized him as saying that, you know, Muslims, you know, have a bad culture and that he doesn't feel bad for them being genocided because their culture is inferior. Like what he's saying is that he thinks that the culture of people not being able to express themselves, which in his examples, he gave the example of like LGBT, which is okay, kind of soy, whatever, who cares? The overarching point is that if people can't express themselves and be themselves and be in a free society, he doesn't really care about their society and he thinks that society is like inferior, right? People completely like lost their minds over this
They'd be
take.
doing the same thing. They'd be doing the same thing. And how much did they kill?
I think he's saying that if they were in
They're
power,
terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing.
he's saying if they were in our position, they would be doing the same thing as us, I guess, is what he's saying. He's saying they're going to do it to us because it's in their laws to do it. So in my opinion, he's talking more about like Sharia law, and he's talking a lot in this interview about religious fundamentalism. He's not talking about just any Middle Eastern country. He's talking about a specific thing, and he many times clarified in this interview, he's talking about this would be the same no matter whether it's Christian fundamentalism being baked into laws, whether it's Jewish fundamentalism being baked into laws. If a religion is the centerpiece of their laws, then he thinks that it's bad and it's an inferior way to run a society, which is his point that he's getting at. But people, of course, didn't watch the entire stream. They took this in the worst possible way. And he ended up walking this back a little bit. So let's find that tweet real quick. He ended up walking this back right here. Looking back on it, I was way too much of an asshole about the Palestine thing. My bad. Of course, no one deserves to have their life destroyed, even if they do things or have views I find regressive. So, yeah, people were pissed at this. I don't know. I think that like maybe the way that he phrased it was like a little bit too harsh. Like saying that he doesn't care if they get genocided, I guess was where he like did wrong. I think he should have stopped by saying that is not like a good way to run a society, and I'm not going to be eager to support a society that runs itself like that or something. I feel like if he phrased it a little bit softer, he would have had more people agreeing with him. Because if you watch that whole stream, his views are not that extreme or like radical against any group of people at all. He's literally just saying he doesn't like religious fundamentalism. It's a bad way to run society. That was pretty much his point. But I think people were mad, obviously, because anytime someone sees a clip like this, they are going to take it, you know, in the worst way possible. And yeah, I don't know. It sounded kind of based. Yeah, the thing is, like, I agree with his like overall point almost. Like, I think that I don't know. I feel like I need to think longer to have like to phrase my take in a good way, but his general sentiment is like a good sentiment and it brings like a fair point. I think one of the things that he was talking about too is he was talking about all these people who were like these groups like Queers for Palestine and stuff like that. You see people holding those signs. And he's sort of speaking to those people being like, well, the people that you're supporting don't even like you, and in many cases they'll kill you. Like we saw with the Houthi thing. They killed a bunch of like gays. And he's saying that, you know, you shouldn't be so eager to support those people. if, you know, they don't even respect you as a person for X, Y, or Z, which I think is like pretty reasonable. And he fleshed that out in an entire interview with Hassan. And it was a great conversation, in my opinion. I mean, he had some kind of stupid points and takes sometimes, but Hassan had way more stupid takes than him. Let's see if we can find it. Is there a highlight reel?
Not going to cry a river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a They're terrible people.
Oh, so that quote happened before their conversation. And then he clarified his point more in depth in this conversation.
Or anything like that. There are gay Palestinians, there are trans Palestinians, both living in Gaza, in historic Palestine.
What is he talking about right now?
So certainly.
Wait.
My point is that Palestinians are not inherently anti-gay or anti-trans or anything like that. There are gay.
Do you see how he's already framing it as like, oh, you're saying that Palestinians are anti-gay? He's saying that their government or their society currently is run by religious fundamentalism. Hassan is framing this already in a dishonest way, which Asman clarifies like a bunch of times.
Gay Palestinians, there are trans Palestinians, both living in Gaza, in historic Palestine, and also certain.
There are trans and gay Palestinians living in Gaza. Does he think that there's like a bunch of like openly gay and trans people in Palestine right now? Is that where does that claim come from?
Certainly outside of Gaza.
Well, is it against the law?
The problem is
it against the law? Dodges.
There is no time or space or opportunity for them to engage in queer liberation, let alone, you know, advocate for more representation in their artworks, for example, when they're too busy being bombed and destroyed and killed and ethnically displaced for 76 years under an apartheid regime that is a settler colonial occupation.
See, this is like a fair point on Hassan's part. I think that that's a totally fair response. I don't know. There's so many like fucking moments in this debate which are so fucking cringe. I don't want to watch the whole debate. That's the problem. But I've no timestamps for any of the good stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested, you should check this out. But yeah, asmongold walked his thing back a little bit. I mean, get a Fortnite partner and bail. Yeah, no worries. What do people say? I feel like I can't browse Twitter. Let's see. No, say I'm sorry, not my bad. See, I think like if he does think that that he phrased this too harshly or he came across in the wrong way, this is the right way to like apologize for it, I guess. Like he's not being like overly sorry because he obviously still believes his general take was correct. But he's saying that he was too much of an asshole about it. And he's saying, my bad. He's not making a big deal out of it. He's just saying, yeah, of course, I believe no one deserves to have their life destroyed. But yeah. 1 year ago, weird as fuck to see so many people coming out with statements about the Israel-Palestine conflict as if they need to comment on it. Can we stop this weird culture around expecting people with no relevant background or education to talk about world events, politics? This is kind of a known, I'm going to be honest. Pretty funny. You just violated your golden rule of never apologizing. I don't mind apologizing if it's something I think I'm actually wrong about. Yeah. What is his golden rule? I feel like I need more asmongold lore to understand what he's talking about here. Typical PR post from the OTK exec. So a lot of people were saying that like some of the partners of his computer company, which is Starforge Systems, were like dropping, and that's why he apologized. I don't know about that. I feel like this guy is like rich enough to where he's not worried about like a couple partners dropping over something like that. This guy has like hot takes pretty often, I feel like. He's considered the fact that people might disagree with his takes and get mad. He's probably baked that into his business strategy or whatever. He's not relying on pleasing everyone all the time and like not being canceled to make money. So I don't know. we have anything else for today? We could do the Just a Robot stuff, but it's just like a lot of content to get into. But yeah, I think I'll wait for the Just a Robot stuff for next time. Just a Robot is really funny. Jar, not me, another Jar, is in drama over defending someone who groomed a minor. That's pretty epic. Gave them like a really softball interview, fed her like all the interview questions beforehand, and then was like making like sexual like jokes and like weird shit, which kind of came across as like flirtatious. So people called into question, you know, the integrity of his interview from that, which it's a pretty funny drama. The guy himself is pretty hilarious. So we'll take a look at that next time. But yeah, that was there's the stream. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming by. Thanks for the new subs. Thanks for chatting, everyone. Good numbers on this stream. We will see you guys next time. Have a good night.